Me.
What's good, people? So we're gonna do this again because yesterday I had to roll out early. My man hit me up, and I forgot that I had shit to do, but I wasn't done. What's good, people? Let's see who up in here. Brotherly Love 215. Metaphors, what's going on? Yo, what's popping? We back. This is the New Deal, part 3. Right? Yesterday was part 2. This is my first time doing 2 back-to-back lives a day apart. Right? I wasn't done talking, man. What's going on, Liang Bentley? What's good? What's going on, all my peoples? You know what I'm saying? Hope y'all up in here, man. We about to talk some more of that shit, man, because, you know, I was talking to my man Adam Immore after yesterday's live. I didn't get a chance to speak to him, so I'm going to have him come in here tonight, and we are going to finish this up. And you know, I gotta, you know, getting some dislikes on these videos, man. Oh, who am I pissing off, man? 5 Foot Giant, I see you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm getting a few dislikes. I mean, you know, everybody can't love the kid, but it's all good. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the usual people. Shout out to BGS Sid Moore, the Green Gorilla Channel, and the Bit of Truth Show, and Dr. T. Hassan Johnson, who I hope I don't bump heads with him tonight. But what's going on? This is the second edition of the Nature, Morality, Modern Dating, and the Social Contract topic. Okay, because there's a lot of things that I did not mention yesterday that I hope to mention today, and I want to talk to Mr. Adam Immore, right? So I don't know where he is. I'm going to summon him, but in the meantime, let's run through some things. I like running through some memes and shit. You know what I'm saying? Twitter posts and things like that. Girls like to post on the internet. So let's do that. So let's do that 1 second. So let me pull some things up here, because you know that phrase from the mouths of babes, right? So let's go right here. So here we have. This was the thing that I was talking about yesterday that I didn't get to mention, because we were talking about the other meme with the little boy and his father, but this is the meme that sparked the discussion about modern dating. Me pretending that I like him and enjoying my free meal, then I'm gonna block him forever, right? So again, this is addressing the millions. I'm gonna say millions. Fuck it. The millions of women who go out on first dates for free food. Okay, still trying to demonstrate that you can provide, and these girls are showing up to eat on you. You know what I mean? Who's seen Queen and Slim? Queen and Slim was pretty much the beginning of the movie, which I hate that flick. I hate that film. The beginning of the movie, dude takes Shorty out. She's not even into him, but she's gonna enjoy that free meal that he's providing for her, and he's gonna keep it moving. I mean, she's gonna keep it moving. You know what I mean? He's not even fucking with son like that. You know what I mean? It's just fucking crazy, right? Here's another one of my favorites. If the fact that I fuck 76 niggas bothers you, you're not grown enough to be my man. 76 niggas. Damn. Look at the picture. Look at her name, Fish Girl Lissa. Damn hoe. Right? 76 niggas. Y'all niggas ain't real men if y'all can't handle the fact that this strong, black, independent woman fucked 76 niggas. 76 dicks. Took 76 dicks. All right? She's not the problem. Y'all niggas is. Y'all need to grow up. taking dick is a part of life for these women. 76 dicks. Okay. 76. Damn. All right. Here's some stripper logic for you, right? If a girl in the nightlife, meaning, escort, stripper, prostitute, whatever. If a girl in the nightlife tells you to come to her job, show her love, and you don't, why on earth would you feel like she should spend her days off with you? Talking about, let me take you out to eat on your day off like we can't afford a nice dinner. I'm just curious because it's not rocket science. Now, see, this is the game right here that they run, right? Okay, so she's a stripper. I'm a customer that, I just want to, take her out of the club. I want the dynamic to be different. I don't want to address you as a customer. I want to address you as a dude trying to holler at you. Nah, no, come to the job so you can be a customer, right? Now, these girls will be quick to tell you that they don't fuck with their customers. So here's the game. No, I don't want you to take me out. I want you to come to my job and give me the money that you're going to spend on me. Instead, give me the money, because I don't want to go out on a date with you. I just want your bread. I don't want your time. I just want your money. I want to hang with you. Just come tip me and keep it moving. Right? Right? So here's another one. Niggas that care about you, not fun to date unless you're trying to get married. Right? And under that, thought I was the only one. Right? I don't see the other reply because it's behind the fucking shit. But yeah, niggas who care about you. Oh, I see no lies. That's the bottom comment. I see no lies. Thought I was the only one. China Shantae says, I see no lies. Right? Yeah. Guys who care about you. I keep telling y'all, they telling you straight up, they don't like nice men. Why are you trying to be nice to someone who doesn't like nice? Why? Right? So, this is pretty much my my opinion on, black women's strategies, choosing good men. Right? I see you, Great 19. I'm gonna pull you in here soon. This is black women's strategies on choosing good men. You see my man out there giving out bad advice. So you already know what that implies, right? We got another chick saying, I want some dick, and not just any dick, but Department of Correction facility dick. And yesterday it was, Pookie and Ray Ray is not a thing. Well, here it is. This is women, putting it out there that, the thug dick is the superior dick. And I'm cool with that. Just make sure that when that motherfucker go upside your head or some other shit like that, and I said thug, I didn't say hood nigga. I didn't say man who sags his jeans. I said hood nigga. Pardon me, I said thug. Thug. Thug is a word with a definition. Look it up so you can understand what I mean when I say thug. And she says, I want some dick, not just any dick. Department of Correctional Facility dick. These women let you know what they are preferring. We don't have to say it. We don't have to accuse. They say it on their own. Right? Right. So the girl posted this. Men don't have a problem with providing for a woman. Men have a problem with the woman who can't provide for herself, demanding a provider. Said no nigga ever. Said no nigga ever. See, this is what the women, this is what they say. I think I got a bot in my chat here. But yeah, men have a problem with a woman who can't provide for herself, demanding. We don't give a fuck. Listen, you won't provide for yourself, cool, whatever. We have an issue with uncooperative women. That's what we have an issue with. Uncooperative, out of shape, those type of chicks. That's what we have. We don't give a fuck how much money you make, right? I think, we've put this out there several times, right? So here's another one. World War III is announced. And there go the feminists. You know, they're going to revert back to that 1950 shit as soon as it pop off. Soon as the shit pop off, they back in the kitchen. We see what happened with this pandemic. We see what happened with the pandemic. All the chicks that didn't want to suck dick on video went right back to the kitchens. Talk about, y'all niggas supposed to be provided. They even created a word, what they call it, pandemic patriarchy. Pandemic patriarchy. Y'all remember that? All right. So your man, Dr. Sebi, got some advice for you. Says stop putting good dick in toxic women. It's Dr. Sebi. You see his name at the bottom. Dr. Sebi loves you, black man. He's trying to give you some good advice here. Stop putting good dick in toxic women. Okay? Please. All right. So here we have some anonymous big titty woman on YouTube. Oh, no, this is Twitter. This is a Tanya TKO show post. I guess she must have spoke on this. But I hate sex. Even if I get married, I won't allow my husband to touch me. His duty is to work and take care of my needs. That's all. Shout out to Hassani. You know, he said it yesterday. You know, we got to get out of this this idea that we are here to serve. And, you know, at this point, it's something that the women are pushing. This provider male shit is dead. It's dead, man. It's not why you're here. Now that you've seen all these, I want you to look at this one. So this is your boy Van Lathan saying, announcing loudly that you're not into black women might be just the most anti-black thing a black man can do. So this is at the top of the list, right? Of the most anti-black things black men can do is saying that you're not into black women. I wanted to save this one for last. Now, you know, so if you're not into any other shit that I just showed you, the most anti-black thing you could do is say that you're not into black women, because black women are black people. They are the black people. Right? You're not the black people. It's not about what you want or what you're into. Now, I know yesterday I got into Fresh and Fit about, you know, them saying that they're not into black women. I don't give a fuck about their choice. You know, well, he said announcing loudly, it's bad, but if you're not into black women, everybody has their reasons. Right? So what about the women who say that they're not into black men, or that they're into these thugs, or, you know, just passed through a couple of these things where women have basically put it out there what kind of black man they like. Again, when these women complain, all their complaints are tied to one, you know, subgroup of black men. Most of their complaints, the great majority of complaints that they, you know, me and a Bit of Truth show, we got this tongue-in-cheek joke that we say. We refer to the thugs as the Harvard graduates, because it's an ironic joke, meaning, you know, these women are not complaining about guys who went to school, got degrees and stuff. The complaints that they're making are not indicative of men with educations and degrees and shit to lose. You know, you got what's the girl, the singer? She got a song called you know, niggas ain't shit, run up in your crib, run up in your fridge, right? That's the name of the song. Niggas ain't shit, run up in your crib, all up in your fridge. I don't know any Harlem graduates that got to come to your crib and run up in your fridge. So there's only one type of motherfucker you could be talking about. You talking about the, you know, what they describe as dusties, the fuck boys and shit like that. These are the guys that they're trying to improve, they're trying to change, et cetera, et cetera. All right, so before we go, I'm gonna let you check this.
Me. So let's start a conversation.
Let me bring that back here.
First of all, good morning. Y'all miss me. So let's start a conversation. or a riot, you know how I do. Black women. Do non-black men really pose the same threat as black men do to you on a day-to-day basis? Do non-black men berate you and disrespect you the way black men do when you reject them? Yes, white supremacy is very real, and racism towards black people is global. However, I'm interested in hearing people's thoughts. Is there real validity to the white man being like the boogeyman that's under our beds or in our closets out to get us as black women? Or is this just the narrative that black men have conditioned us to believe so that we will not start looking for other options for love and partnership beyond black men?
So I want to understand. Let me play this one more time for people who just came in.
So first of all, good morning. Y'all miss me. So let's start a conversation or a riot. You know how I do. Black women. Do non-black men really pose the same threat as black men do to you on a day-to-day basis? Do non-black men berate you and disrespect you the way black men do when you reject them? Yes, white supremacy is very real, and racism towards black people is global. However, I'm interested in hearing people's thoughts. Is there real validity to the white man being like the boogeyman that's under our beds or in our closets out to get us as black women? Or is this just the narrative that black men have conditioned us to believe? So
Let me stop this right here. I'm trying to understand, right? When did black men create this narrative that the white man is a boogeyman after the black woman? When did I miss something? Did somebody send me a memo? When did this happen? Like, where did this happen, right? Like the white men are coming to steal our black women. So we had to fool them into thinking, oh, if you fuck with him, you know, he's going to do shit to you, right? He's going to be violent towards you, right? I'm trying to understand. When did this happen? Did I miss it? Right? So what is she talking about? What is she talking about? Now, mind you, Van Lathan just said, well, it's the most anti-black thing you could do is say this and say that. Well, what does that qualify as? What does that qualify as? Black women are online saying all types of body bag, what they call it, bullet bag shit, right? But nobody ever addresses this shit. You know, let a black, the biggest crime that a black man could possibly do is stick his dick somewhere other than a black woman, it seems, right? Or express interest in anything other, right? And you want to bash, you say this and say that, okay. Depending on what's said, I might take a difference, but what I'm saying is you're into what you're into, right? Right? You got black men that can't even date lighter skinned black women within the race, right? Who makes all these rules? And that's what we're going to discuss tonight is all this morality that's being discussed, because that's what they're inventing morality as they go. They're making up rules in a playbook for who black men can and can't date, even within the race, who they must date, who they must accept, the flaws they must overlook, all these things that are required from us, right? Now, earlier, you know, because I can post now, I can post on YouTube now, so fuck Facebook, right? I can post shit on YouTube now. So I posted a picture of a girl earlier, said, you know, black man, once you get your 6 figures, this is what you can expect. This is what's waiting for you. Now, for those who follow me and saw the picture, right? You know what I'm talking about. Well, you know, like we fill in all these blanks. You know, I'm telling black men, yo, invest in yourself. time-wise, money-wise, whatever. Build yourself to be the product that they can take or leave. Black men, stop accepting their morality, because what you have been taught to do is to conflict your own self-interest. Okay? Serving women is not, a biological function of men. Somebody made that up. That's a lie. Okay? That's social. It's social bullshit. Your biological function is to serve yourself, self-interest, save yourself, SYS, right? That's biological. You have been trained to operate against your own self-interest, right? To serve until you die. You heard what the girl said. Yo, my husband's job is to work and serve me until he's out of here. That's why he draws breath on this earth, right? I really like her to play around with one of those Sullivan Ave types. A homegirl of mine did, and it was fun to watch. Oh, that must be somewhere in the Midwest, right? Bro, this visual is dope. I appreciate that. All right. Now, how many Chaz off divestors just from December till now? When did they start to listen to black men or give a damn what black men say? Right? So we didn't make that up. They lived it and blamed black men. There was never any efforts to convince black women to not divest. When? When did this happen? Where the fuck was I? Right? So when in doubt, blame the self-aware black man for everything. All right. The black woman in COL, it must be Columbus, was dating the dustiest of WBs. Like, seriously, this is what you're rubbing in my face? My man, Bit of Truth Show. All right. So black women do tend to date down when they date others, but they want the apex of black men. Let's stop right here. My man Alonzo, the apex, right? For your own women, you got to be, the Superman. For your own chicks, for your own women, for your own group, right? But understand, you only got to be the apex when you're the guy they don't like, when you're the non-select. Because there are men in the group that are select, and they don't have to be the apex of shit. Again, you just seen the girl say on the social media screenshots which men they like, right? Right? I don't care who they choose. I care who they blame for who they chooses behavior. That's what I care about. Just so I'm clear, right? This ain't the, we hate Pookie because he getting all the pussy show. Right? Because I don't have an issue attracting females. Oh, I'm not in so much pain. Yes, please have 3 of his kids while working a low-income job. Hey, man, that pic triggered me. Which picture? You gotta let me know. Like, oh, he fucked up your credit, wrecked your car, and beat one of your kids. Good job. You're really showing me how much better he is. By golly. Bit of truth. You already know. Harlem grad, baby. Like, oh, sure. He went to Harvard. Okay. So anyways, they ruled her death a suicide, even though evidence says otherwise. Remember, white men will increasingly date black women because white women are married to their careers. They go Asian, bro. They will go Asian before they go black. We do have the stats out here, right? So check this out. Thank you for joining me. This is the Keep It 100 show. You know what I'm saying? Where we keep it 100. Eloquent and articulate, pettiness. That's what we do here. All right. So let's continue with this nature, morality, and modern dating because it all goes together. Okay. So where's my man Adam? I'm gonna send you a link here because I gotta get you up in here, man. I gotta get you up in here. Let's get right to it. I don't want to waste no more time, man. Let's get him up in here. All right. Because what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about. Yeah, I don't, it's things that we already know. Let's just put it that way, right? There's a lot of things that we already know. I don't want to talk about, like we know female nature, right? We know female nature. Female biological nature is, mostly rooted in reproduction. Both of our natures are rooted in reproduction. But I want people to understand the difference in what is biology and what is socially taught. Our women have been socialized masculine, and we being socialized feminine. We have dominant women and submissive men in Black culture. We present ourselves to our women as submissive for their engagement and their involvement in relationships. BGS said more, what's going on? We sell our submission to our own women, right? Look at Russell Wilson. He's everything he needs to be, on paper. And he's selling Ciara, a woman that's beneath him, his submission so that she stays, right? This is the comment that I'm laughing at, right? So understand, right? As I said yesterday, Black men have abandoned male nature. Your nature is not submission. That's why women are looking at, the lames or whatever as the unattractive. They, "Oh, she doesn't like a nice guy," because you're submitting, bro. Feminine women like dominant men. And the less feminine she is, the more domineering you have to be. So you got dominant, masculine Black women who prefer overly masculine, what they call it, hyper masculine Black men, right? Hyper masculine. Because you got masculine women, so you need hyper masculine men for them to be attracted to. It's not enough that you're masculine, you have to be hyper masculine to offset her masculinity, right? And you're presenting your, the lames are submitting, submission. So if you give this woman, cooperation and submission for your application to be in a relationship, she's not attracted to that, right? She's attracted to what you may have materially. You bring tangibles to the table that the hyper masculine man does not. But for her, sexual urges and her reproductive functions, she's going to pick that hyper masculine male. She's going to pick you, the submissive, high value man, right? For the social environment, right? Because she's been socialized masculine, but her true nature under that bullshit, she needs a man that's more masculine than her. So she's going to pick a hyper masculine man. Right? So here we go. I need a man to handle me because she's masculine. You can't be less masculine than a masculine woman and she take you serious. Right? So understand, handle is just a colloquialism for, you have to be more masculine. You have to be domineering. And a lot of us, we've been taught to be that other guy that we, in our minds, think that to dominate the relationship is Mr. from The Color Purple. Right? So I'm going to bring my man in because he's finally here. Right? Here we go.
Hey, what's up, bro? Can you hear me well?
We can hear you a little better.
Good.
Try to come as close to the mic as you can. Right?
Hold on a sec.
So let me read this one comment. It says, I'm not a zookeeper. A woman should handle herself and be feminine at the same time. I agree with you, sir. I agree with you.
All right, should be better now. Sorry.
Well, much better. All right. So what's fucked up is old girl in the purple hoodie is married to a black man. I don't know who that is, but word. So talk to me, man. Yeah, black men and concrete surfs, man. So talk to me, man. What's going on, brother? Are you there?
I'm chilling, man. We had a discussion the other day. You can hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we had this discussion the other day, and I thought it was interesting how we were developing this topic of the New Deal, which, you know, again, is in part inspired by the discussion that Dennis Sperling was having about a new social contract. You know, and it comes off the work he was speaking about the other day about really how the provider male is dead. Like, we need something new that works. The provider male, it's over. That's, like you said, that, you know, you can't beat daddy government, right? But at the same time, there's no point in just getting into a relationship just for the hell of it. So what exactly can men provide, or rather not provide, but what exactly can we do to create a new arrangement that's beneficial to both to men and women, right? And this is where we come to the New Deal, right? Because based on, you know, the modern behavioral science, the concept of motivation is that human behavior is incentivized. So you can either use rewards or punishment, right? In this modern theory. So how exactly, you know, exactly. So what we're doing with the New Deal is we're setting up a system of rewards and benefits based on what each person needs. Now, one thing I'm trying to see if I could share it with you so we can look at it. It's just a picture, but it's I think his name is Masick. It's his hierarchy of needs, right? And when each person is discussing exactly what they want out of the other, there's got to be a hierarchy of what's most important and what's least.
You have it in your phone?
Yeah, I got it on my phone.
If you can send it to my Facebook Messenger. I don't know if you can do that while you're in here.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do right now. Let me see if I can do that now.
Yeah, if you can get it to me, I can display it. I think yesterday what me and you touched on, like, you know, when we were talking about rewards and punishment, I just wanted to point out, and this is stuff that people can look up. These are like, you know, this is a lot of studies that went into these things. You know, you're talking about, you know, the Sigmund Freuds and things like that, and among other scientists. Rewards and punishment, like, you know, when you're talking about moral development, right? You know, how you teach people what's, you know, wrong or right in a given social space, right? Because that changes, right, from space to space, right? We tend to think of good and bad as a static thing when it's not. It's really not. It's more about what you learn in your social space. I'm going to try to connect this thing here. Yeah, it's more
I just sent them all to you.
Yeah, it's more about what you learn in your social space, right? So, you know, when you learn right and wrong, depending on what culture you're from and this and that and the other, you know, I remember we was talking about, I said to you, you know, what we tend to accept is what Kevin Samuels calls one-way aggression, where Black women can reward and they can, punish or incentivize good or bad behavior, but Black men can't, because it's all, anything that we do in the realm of punishment or anything punitive is abuse or
Yes.
violence, right? Even if it's not physical, right?
Yep.
Is red and is taken as violence, right? So we have no ways to you sent it to the other account. Yeah, we have no ways. That's fine. We can leave it there. We have no ways to, that's in this social environment that's acceptable to,
to punish,
discourage,
yes,
discourage, right?
De-incentivize,
right? De-incentivize, discourage, right? Dysfunctional or bad behavior from women, right? So, these are links.
Yeah, these are links. I think it was interesting too. The concept you just said, just to build on that, is interesting. Almost anything that a man withdraws is considered abuse, right? Financial abuse. I've never heard of a woman committing financial abuse against anybody, but damn sure you've heard of financial abuse from a man. Oh, if you say, hey, I gave my wife a checking card so she can only spend $200 a week, that's financial abuse, right? Because your money is supposed to be her money, right? But I've never heard of a man saying, hey, my wife won't let me spend her money from her job. She's making all this money. Why can't I spend her money? Like, I've never heard a man make that argument. I've never heard anyone take that seriously. Like you said, anything a man does that's punitive, that is corrective of a woman's behavior is viewed as abuse.
Well, we know that women will deny sex if, she's unhappy with her man's behavior or something he said or whatever the case may be, right?
Indeed.
Now, sex is not something that we can demand even from our wives. It's
I'm sorry, man. Go ahead, because I know what you're about to do. Go ahead, man.
Okay, so you talking about you call it the R word. I don't want to say that on YouTube.
Yep.
But anything that that we are to take away, like what's ours belongs to her. It's all community, except the things that we would demand or ask for. So you sent me a link for the chore war. So that you want me to bring that up first?
Well, I believe let's start from the bottom. Actually, the first
we'll go through like that. Needs.
Yeah, okay. The hierarchy of needs. Yes.
So let me get that set up, right?
But yeah, that's definitely interesting. In fact, it's interesting because the terms that we're using, even though they're common in the manosphere, they're also actually used in court, right? A man being a resource for the mother is used in family court. Family courts will routinely, even in court documents, will say, hey, the mother is saying that the man is a resource for the child, right? Also community property. Any attorney will also tell you, that in divorce, especially a family law attorney will tell you community property literally means that. And so when you said, what we have is community property, I mean, not only is that a conceptual way of thinking about it, but it's actually a legal way of thinking about it. Everything that a man brings to a relationship, particularly in a marriage, is actually community property. But, of course, no one would ever refer to sexual access as community property, and rightfully so. But I think that men should, be able to withdraw or have some way of doing so. And so this new deal is a way of working around that, so that men can still have some type of agency and power. But go ahead. Let's take a look at that.
So what I would do, if I can, is get an image of that pyramid.
Yeah.
But I mean, as it stands right now, I have it on screen, so you can speak on it. But I think it would be better if we get like
an image of it. Maybe I can get an image of it. Hold on a second.
An image of it. Hold on. Let me move this up a little bit. All right. So trying to increase this thing, but that's it right there. So I mean, can you see it? Now
I can. Oh, there we go. I got it right here. Here we go.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the hierarchy of needs, but why don't you just explain that while we're trying to pull images here? Go ahead and talk about it.
Well, this hierarchy of needs, I think we it's really the concept of it more so than what it actually is. But basically, this is a theoretical framework. Oh, sorry, I gotta post the image here. Here we go. I just sent it to you.
Yeah,
The image.
metaphor's not working, bro. Trust me, I'm a computer guy. For some reason this page ain't increasing.
No, that's cool. I sent you the image of it.
Okay, I'll get it up in a second. Continue.
All right. So basically, the whole point behind this is that it shows exactly what is important, at any given time. And the only way you can progress to another level of need is in order to is that you have to satisfy the needs before. So the physiological needs always come first, right? Yeah. Air, water, food. I mean, you can go. I mean 30. What's it? 5 seconds without air, or 6 seconds without air, you're finished, right?
Yeah.
So all that other stuff about I want a big house and all that don't mean nothing if you don't got no air, right? Water in less than 7 days without water, you're finished. Food. I believe it goes up to 30 days. Although someone could correct me on that. Shelter, it's obvious with shelter. I mean, the amount of time you can survive without shelter, depending on the environment you're in, can vary from a week to maybe a month and a half. But when it starts raining and you got nowhere to sleep, you dying from hypothermia, bro.
Now I got you. See, this is the thing, right? I mean, I don't know. I know we discussed it. When we spoke, I don't know if we said this on here, so I'm going to say it now. We live in a first world nation.
Yes.
All right. We live in a first world nation. Anybody from New York knows, and this is, I'm making, this is a little analogy, in New York, you're from New York, I'm from New York. We know that we got public transportation. So a car is not as important in New York as it would be in other states. So you go to another state where vehicle period is very important. Which vehicle you're driving is less important than the fact that you have a vehicle at all in a state where there's no metropolitan transit. But in New York, because you have the subway and the bus, and we have a very elaborate subway system in New York, then now if a dude pulls up in a V, it has to be something special. Would you agree? Right.
Yeah. I mean, remember the gentleman you had from Australia? I mean, this is precisely the point he made. Remember?
Yeah. So what I'm saying is this, right? So when you're talking about a first world nation, and I might have covered this yesterday, when you have the state, supplying all the basics. If you're dealing with a dude, you're a female, you're dealing with a guy. What he brings has to be more than basic, because you got basics. Now, again, and I think me and you discussed this, but we didn't discuss it on live. We discussed that, typically, no, you know what? We did discuss this on another live, a different topic. But, when you got women who are earning a specific amount of money, when you come into the picture as a man, you have to improve the lifestyle that she's already supplying for herself, right? So, of course, this goes into hierarchy of needs, right? But just understand, the hierarchy of needs is different in the different social spaces. So you go to Dominican Republic or one of these third world countries, the hierarchy of needs it gets more and more basic, because those people down there, not just the women, but the men also, their lifestyle is very basic, and a lot of them don't get their most basic of needs met. But once the basics are handled, once these women are either housed and clothed, right, safe, all of the above, then what you bring has to be luxury, right? And that's where we are. So I'm gonna bring this picture up, right? So you can break it down real quick, and then we're gonna go into some other things, right? So here we are.
Oh yeah. Here we go. But one of the things I did want to mention about this these hierarchy of needs is I mean, first of all, like you said before, now in a first world country, basically you have to make sure as a man, if your income alone does not raise her into a whole separate socioeconomic class, then you're basically invisible to her, right? And as I brought out in your live stream about the provider male being dead, I mean, there's you could anyone could look this up on search engine. It should show up immediately. When you search male unemployment, if you specify male unemployment in Google or DuckDuckGo, it should bring up this study as the first couple of search results. And there's several studies on it, but it shows over time how from 2000 to present, how male unemployment has been going down and female employment has been going up. I mean, rather, as male employment has been going down and female employment has been going up. And so now the amount of males employed and the amount of females employed are reaching parity, where now you have a 61% employment rate among men. I think it's 61 or 69. And for women, it's about 54, 59, something like that. So they've been growing very closely, these numbers. This type of new deal that we're talking about is going to have to be very is going to be very relevant coming soon, because like you said, the provider male is dead. It's over. When over 50% of your women are employed and under 50% of your 60% of your men are employed, basically you've got the same amount of men employed as you have women employed, right? And the thing is, with this hierarchy of needs, the reason why I wanted to bring this up was to emphasize that, this is for every human being, right? These hierarchy of needs. This is the theoretical frame for every human being. But what I wanted to emphasize is that when we go, if a man is looking to be in a relationship with a woman in a relationship with a man, they have to work with each other and figure out what are each individual's hierarchy of needs from that relationship. Using this as a conceptual framework, what do I find most important? What are the things that I want most out of this relationship? What are the deal breakers? What are the things I like? What are the things I want? What are the things I need? Like, a man has to ask himself these questions and create a pyramid like this. I'm not saying just write it out, but have it in your head that this is more important than that this I can't do without. Because right now, like you said, black men in particular have basically just been going along and, being servants to women and thinking that, they haven't given any thought to what their hierarchy of needs are until the relationship's falling apart.
Yeah, but understand, again, the point that I've been making, and let me take this down for a second. The point that I've been making here is that we are, we've been trained to ignore our nature. Our nature is self-interest. All right. So a person that is, operating on their self-interest looks at, the chart like this, and we say, okay, which one of these needs are being met? But we're told that if we seek to meet our needs on this list, we're bad. We're bad people. Our purpose in life is to meet these needs for women. Yeah. So that's again, people, I'm bringing these things up. I mean, we're going all deep and academic sounding and all of that shit, but dig this. The fact that, we're addressing this is, understand, there's nothing on this list that, you're going to bring to a woman that she doesn't have already. Now, if she doesn't have it, right, then you got another issue. But if she lives in the US of A, right, this list is already handled by the state. You cannot provide anything on this list here. So stop trying. Stop trying to be the guy who brings these things on the list. Okay? So at the top, right, you have what? Self-actualization, right, which is desire to become the most that one can be, which now these women are at that stage. They're saying, well, we're autonomous, we are independent, we don't need men.
Yep. Self-actualized.
Western women are at the top of this pyramid. This is not a third world country. So you're trying to fill a role that is unnecessary and obsolete, right? You've been, and they're telling you, right, that you're a bad guy if you don't add to this.
Yep.
They want more than this. This is, the hierarchy of, what's the word?
Needs.
Needs.
Yeah.
Needs. Not wants, not luxuries, not opulence. This is the hierarchy of needs. These
Needs.
women in this country have everything they need before they meet you. Okay.
Yep.
Before they meet you. Okay. So all the free this and free that, gifts and things like that you're giving to her so that you could feel like a man, right, is a hustle.
Yep.
Hustle.
That's interesting. I know you just brought it down, but it's interesting that literally every aspect on that list.
I could
No,
throw that.
it's cool. No, it's cool. I was just making a last comment on that hierarchy of needs. As far as needs are concerned, like that actual list, yeah, absolutely everything on there from top to bottom. And we could probably go in depth on that another stream if you want, on how each and every single one of those have been met by the state and by the culture of America. That would be an interesting topic. But
no, but we know how. See, we don't listen. We don't listen, bro. Feel me. We don't have to do the details. We know how we got here. We know what it is. We know what services and and functions that the state performs for women. We know it already, right? So what I like to get to is how do we respond to these things? Because I don't want to. I feel like this, right? Black man, you don't need an explanation, right, about all of that. Let's like Jay-Z said, we're past kneeling, right? So now that we know, what's next, right? So that's always my thing. Okay, we know that they have it. We know that it's given to them. We know that the women in Atlanta are getting the $800 a month. We know all of these things, right? We know this is not new to us. We don't need to bring it. I'm against the whole, let's bring awareness, right? We're aware. We know.
We're aware, yep.
We are aware like a motherfucker, right? So now that we know, how do we use this information to work for us, right? And that's that's where I'm at with it, right? So okay, now we talk about the New Deal. Now I want to emphasize this: SYSBM, right? According to SYSBM, ain't no deals, ain't no peace talks, no white flags, right? Like your man 50 Cent say, right? So what I'm gonna say is this: for the men who seek to engage with women in our culture, I'm gonna say it that way, women in our culture, right? On a level above sexual, because I don't give a fuck what motherfuckers say, we always gonna fuck black women. If the pussy get thrown at us, we taking it, right? Yeah, I see we got bots in the chat. Yeah, somebody gonna have to put me, hey, for my YouTube elders, y'all gonna have to tell me how to deal with these bots, right? But at any rate, let me go to the private.
No, my bad. I was trying to put a note there for myself.
Oh, that was you. Oh, okay, I got you. Nah, you good. So, basically what I'm saying is, okay, what I want to communicate to the men here is how to operate in this new space. Okay? I don't give a fuck if you just want pussy or you want to date or you want to marry. This is what we need to get at, right? How to operate in this new space, what we are to do and what we are not to do for our self-interest, men's self-interest, like Dr. Neil say, black male autonomy, right? So
BMA.
So, what are we to do, right? What are we to do to operate in this space? Because what we're doing isn't working. They're winning, right? That part of it, right? Black, you got a guy saying to women, go get these high value dudes, right? Act feminine, lose weight, don't have children. He's giving them the blueprint. We got to give women, we got to give men the blueprint, right? For the empire to strike back. Black man, you're not a bad guy for operating in your self-interest. Black women are operating in their own self-interest. And we talk about human nature and female nature, both. Human nature is self-interest. There's no more and there's no gender with more integrity. We
Mm-hmm.
both want what we want, but what men have been taught, we have learned female morality. We have been taught to act in a manner that benefits them and not us.
Yep.
And we feel bad if we don't do it. We seek validation, we seek righteousness, right?
Yeah.
Through serving women, righteousness. That's deep. Not just validation, but righteousness. We think it is like, godly to serve women.
I mean, that goes into the whole Marianist perspective, right? That women are morally and spiritually superior to men, and so it's the man's duty to protect the sanctity of women, and even at the cost of his own life. And I mean,
so
what you're saying could be. Go ahead.
Explain Marianism, please.
Well, Marianism is the correlated idea to machismo. That Marianism or Marianismo is the yin to the yang of machismo, right? Evelyn P. Stevens was the first one to write about these ideas, and they've evolved since then. But the basic concept, we all know what machismo is. The basic concept of Marianism is that women are morally and spiritually superior to men. So whereas in machismo, men are, viewed as more powerful and more courageous than women, women are viewed as more moral and more spiritual than men, and they should be looked to for moral guidance and spiritual guidance, right? And men should be looked to for physical leadership and governance, right? And that's kind of the yin and yang of it. And so that's really where we see, just like you said, men believing it's even righteous to sacrifice themselves, just as someone demonstrating tremendous piety to a god or to someone they worship would sacrifice and make different life choices. There'd be certain things they would give up in their life to show their righteousness towards their God. And the way that we see, men, and particularly black men, operate toward black women. I mean, we hear people say black women are goddesses, but I mean, the way black men are moving, huh?
You beat me to it. I was going to say the cult of the black woman is God. TWBI.
Yeah. Tibwig. The Tibwig. The black woman is God. Even got a wig in it.
Oh man, the black woman is God. Go ahead, continue.
I mean, but they act in such a manner, and it's we've said it before, and I think we had a personal conversation where we discussed this. The whole concept of when you're sacrificing something, you don't sacrifice what is more valuable for what's less valuable. You always sacrifice what's less valuable for what's more valuable.
Hold on. Let's stop right there. I want that line to sink in, because that's one of my favorite Adam MGTOW quotes. Say it one more time for the men. Say it one more time.
You never sacrifice what's more valuable for what's less valuable.
That's right. Hold on. Right? Give him the chess analogy.
Well, I mean, there's a perfect example in chess, right? It's very rare that you would sacrifice a queen to protect a pawn.
There we go.
Right?
Stop. Stop. Don't move past that too fast. All right? Yes, it's very rare. Right? I would say it almost never happens.
Yeah.
It almost never happens. I don't know if there's some chess players in here, right? You don't sacrifice queens for pawns.
Very rare. Very rare.
Okay? Now, continue, sir. I just wanted that to shine on its own. Go ahead.
That's part of the point, right? That's you don't sacrifice what's more valuable for what's less valuable. And when we look at what black men do, right, and how they sacrifice of themselves, in the community in general, and particularly for black women, basically the way that we're treated as if we have less value. And when we sacrifice ourselves for no gain, we are basically saying we are worthless, right? When we start doing all these things, like you said, you're providing these unnecessary gifts, when we're giving emotional labor without any reward, when there's no return on our investment, then we're sacrificing ourselves for someone who we believe is greater. When you're willing to do jail time because Black woman was disrespected in a nail salon, right? You're valueless, right? Now, you could say you're standing up for Black women. Sure, some people could look at it from their perspective, but when you're looking at it purely from one person's sacrifice for another, that the man who's throwing bricks through windows and risking his jail time, he's not as valuable as the women who are disrespected. Their feelings of discomfort are not as valuable as his freedom. That's what that tells us. And so the New Deal, in relation to that, is giving Black men their value back, because you're getting something in exchange. And like Briefolds law, even though that applies to women, we're actually applying Briefolds law. We're learning from women. We're learning from female nature. And that's something, guys, we got to admit, there are things that women got right that we have to learn. We shouldn't be ashamed to learn from it. Briefolds law says that when there's no benefit for a woman in the animal, or for a female in the animal family to be derived with a male, no association occurs. We need that same rule. When you can't benefit financially, physically, or in some other way from a woman in your association, that association shouldn't occur. You violated the rule. That's the bro code right there.
This is the new morality, fellas. Throw away that old morality where you're the good guy, right? Dealing with female aggression and trying to correct female aggression with more rewards. Understand, if your child is acting up, you punish your child. You take the games away. They can't go outside, this and that and the other. Nobody looks at you crazy, because we understand that when kids act up, they ought to be punished. They ought to receive some sort of punitive, act towards them, even if it's not a physical or corporal punishment, right? If you understand that, then what would not make sense is for you to give your child goodies so that they stopped acting terribly. You can't change behavior with more rewards, and that's what a lot of guys do. That's what we've been taught to do, because anything punitive is abuse. Anything punitive is not righteous. We have been taught, right, to treat our women as gods. It is our morality. And that's why this shit is called nature, morality, right? Modern dating and the social contract. All right. This morality that has been invented for Black men in particular is contrary to self-interest. Black women's self-interest, there is nothing in our social environment, right, that bars them from being self-interested. That's why you think women are like this and men are like this by nature. No, they're not. Of course, yes, they're hypergamous, right? But, right, there's what we're dealing with women, right, who are operating on, in a social space that is not barring their nature, but also socializing them to be a certain way, right? And they're socializing us to accept it. And understand that the men in this space having this conversation, oh man, this Borg is killing me, man. Shit. I wish I could do this. I don't know if I could do this shit in the middle of a show. This is all this funny shit popping up, man. But yeah, so
shoot, I just seen it up.
Yeah, look at that shit. So yeah, we're gonna handle that. So understand, and there will be mods. Now, okay, I'm at the point where I need mods now. See, this is new. This is new shit, right? So, yeah. So my point is, There has to be we have to discard this morality. You know, this morality that makes us feel like less than righteous when we say or do anything, you know, that challenges the one that we're worshiping. In our culture, the black woman is God. That is our morality. Right?
Yeah.
So let me see if I can wrench some people up here. You know, I'm gonna see if I can create some, you know, some
mods.
Some mods while we in this chat, man. So respond to what I just said while I handle some technical shit, please.
Sure. So, you know, with this in mind, we need a new sense of, I mean, to be honest, it's a new sense of morality for this generation. But as far for all intents and purposes, this is really this is the actual fairness, right? Because morality, and I can't say righteousness, but morality itself is often a facet or an expression of justice. This is your internal mechanisms of your internal conscious, creating a code of justice that again is for all, that is shared by a community. That's really what makes morality what it is, right? And so we know fair. Go ahead, man.
No, VGR said it yesterday. It's an agreed upon. You know, it's like a social agreement.
It's a social agreement, and so I mean, let's be fair. You know, no reasonable person could look at the way that black men are treated. Well, we're saying black men, but men in general, but black men in particular. You know, what they get out of relationships, and say that for the effort that black men put into these relationships on a whole, remembering that 85% of relationships are not abusive, are not dysfunctional, 85% of all relationships. So we're not going to talk about the aberrational BS, right? That the effort that black men put in, no one could look at those relationships and honestly say that that is just. Right. So really, black men have a corrupted or warped sense of morality right now, as you said, because they had to be trained to have this misconstrued morality. Because let's be honest, if you tell black men to use their sense of morality for almost anything else, but and any other dealing, if you're talking about business, education, you're talking about community, you're even talking about white supremacy, you look at any of these things. These guys will immediately see, oh yeah, I can clearly see this needs to change. That's not fair, right? They can understand the concept of balance. They can understand the concept of reciprocity, right? But only when it comes to our own women, right? And I use that in quotes, our own women, right? But only when it comes to black women does this sense of morality all of a sudden no longer apply. No longer is reciprocity needed. No longer does a fair exchange mean anything. No longer is there justice. Right. And what I'm here to say today, and what you've been saying already, is that we need this sense of justice to be restored. We need black men to be made straight. Right. Right now, our morality is crooked as when it comes to black women, when it comes to the women we deal with. But we're going to set things straight today. And that's one of the whole goals. Those are the things you broke down over the past two shows. And likely shows before, and that's one thing I wanted to bring to your attention, or rather to discuss, as we spoke about before, right? What the New Deal actually is, because we had the TradCon arrangement that don't really work no more. Provider mail is dead. All that other stuff is dead. We have a new system, this CompuServe system, that this faux traditionalism, right? And this gynopedestal situation in which the community has found itself. That clearly is not working. Clearly, it's not working. So that brings us to what the New Deal actually is. And there's 3 parts to it. So I'm not sure if you want me to just mention the titles of all 3 parts or go through each part one at a time. But, you take your pick on that.
Mention the titles first, and let's see how deep we're going to go into this.
So the first part of the New Deal is essential versus desired qualities. This builds on the concept of the hierarchy.
Are you there? Lost you. Sound went down.
Can you hear me?
Sound went. Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
So the first part is the oh wait, hold on. Yeah, the first part is the desired versus essential qualities. This is essentially a hierarchy of wants as opposed to a hierarchy of needs. That's part one.
Okay.
Part two is commitments.
Commitments
Right?
as far as be specific.
Commitments as far as what each person's actually going to commit toward accomplishing those needs. So once you set out your hierarchy of wants, your essential versus desired qualities, then you actually logically will have to discuss what you will actually do to meet those requirements, right? What you'll do to actually stand to satisfy those desires, right? And that's what the commitment section is about. And then the last is, of course, the protections, right? Or the goals of it. So those are the three parts of what makes the New Deal what it is. And of course, we have to, over time, we're going to have, this is the conceptual framework, but of course, we're going to have to break it down in such a way that without thought, someone could easily apply this in real time. But this is the conceptual framework. And this is, we've gone through the proof of concept already, but this is what the New Deal actually entails. And I can explain what that would look like in real time, or what that would look like when dealing with a potential partner with a woman. But what are your thoughts about this so far? What do you want to do with these?
Now you said the first one is
essential versus desired qualities. I think I sent it to.
You mean as far as what they're looking for in us?
No, what we're looking for. Well, that's each partner. This is the New Deal. We're making a deal. So the man, what's new about it is that men are actually stating what they want, what's essential and what's desired. Because women have no problem with. Well, it's funny. Most of the stuff on this list, women have no problem with imposing on a man. Like, oh, this is what I want. This is what. If you don't got this, is a deal breaker, right? She wants you to commit this, commit that, and she wants to make. Go ahead.
This is the thing. Every look, I can't tell men what to desire in women.
No.
Right. I go to a lot of different places, right? And I'm in a lot of these different Facebook groups where you got guys telling men what they should look for. You got men that actually like bigger women. You got men that like this or like that or whatever the case may be. That's fine and dandy. All what I would say, to sum it up, really. I want what I want for what I have, right? I know my worth, like they like to say. They like that phrase. I know my worth, right? Right? I know my worth. So for what I bring to the table, this is what I want. Enter what as far as men, and we know what some of this stuff is. We know we want, some femininity. We want some cooperation. We don't want to have to hear your mouth. We want you to, what they say, fine, fit, and friendly, right?
Yeah. But
I'm sure. I'm sorry.
Oh, and I was just going to comment that the whole point to that first part is that the man is actually, he's not just thinking these things, but he's actually telling the woman these things.
Absolutely.
Right? It's modular. That's the whole point of the New Deal, is that it's not the old systems are very rigid. When you look at tradcon systems or traditional conservative, that's patriarchy based, because very rigid. When you look at the CompuServe, I mean, that's even more stiff, because we know what that is, right? But the New Deal is very fluid. It's modular. It's very it can be customized, because really, part of the concept behind this is, when you look at modern business structures, everything's about niche customization. Stores don't. Amazon doesn't close, right? You can go on Amazon anytime you want, order whatever you want when you want it, and you can get it delivered when you want it and how you want it. And you can even leave notes for the person who's going to deliver it for you, so that they can ring your doorbell when they leave it, right? You can get things exactly how you want, and that's what the New Deal is about. How you, as a man, individually want it. If you like big chicks with an attitude, I don't know any guys who do, but if you like big chicks with a bad attitude, hey, that's what you're gonna demand, and she better be big and have that bad attitude, right? And of course, you know,
Mhm.
she lets you know what she wants. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? I see you want to say something. I don't want to keep going. You know,
I'm listening to what
I'm
you're
about
saying.
to rant.
I found it funny, but so okay, so the first part of it is what men want, right?
You laying it out how you individually, well, not you, you know, you individually,
Yeah.
the man who's in the relationship, how that particular man wants his relationship. That's what that is.
So
It's not a set code.
what's part two? Second article.
The part two. So after both parties have, you know, openly expressed exactly what they want, right? Not setting it as, oh, this is expectation, but you're saying this is what I want. This part is where the expectations are set, right? So the first part is kind of where you set the hierarchy of what you want, how you like it, the essential versus desired qualities. The second part is when you're like straight up, you know, this is what I'm going to do to fill out what you just listed. You see, so it's you know in on the woman's end, of course. I mean, again, this is a deal between the man and the woman we're talking about, right? So
Yeah.
once he's said, "Hey, I like you know I like that. Look, I like how you are, things, etc. But this is what I want. This is what I'm looking for, and someone that I really want to be in a long-term relationship. You know what I'm saying? You're not being aggressive about it, but you're just telling it this is what I'm looking for, right?
No, fuck
So now when
that.
you
Be
get to the
aggressive. No, hold on,
huh?
hold on. Let's stop right here. Let's stop right here.
I'm just saying.
I hear you, but no, fuck that.
All right, well, you know what it is.
Be aggressive.
But it's with these hoes. I mean, be yourself. You know,
Listen, man.
the
You know, if you're not aggressive, get some aggression, because at the end of the day, they're not going to be shy about telling you what they need. They're not going to be shy about it. And furthermore, whatever it is that you're asking for and that you're demanding, you got to make it a deal breaker.
well, that's
right?
what this second part is about.
Okay, let's get to that part.
Yeah, because
Let's
this
start
because
Hold on,
once
y'all.
you've
This is
gone
the
through
good part. This is the good part, y'all. Go ahead.
this is the good part, because this is when you know once you've laid out what you want and what's essential and desired qualities, this is the part where this is the commitment part where you see what she's actually going to do to fulfill that. So the first part, you really don't got to be any type of way because you're just saying what it is. But when she actually tells you what she's going to do to fulfill those desires, that's when you're like, hey, you look at what she's actually said she's going to do, because you got to hold her to that. And if she don't do it, you could be aggressive, you could be non-aggressive, but you're walking away. So it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. If she's not doing those things, if she's made no commitment, if she said, oh, you know, and remember the first part could be whatever you want. You say, hey, I want sex 6 times a week. Now, if she said, hey, I'll give it to you 2 times on Monday and 2 times on Wednesday, 1 time on Friday, 1 time on Sunday, all right, it is what it is.
So
right?
hold that thought. Hold that thought. I want to catch up with some of these comments, and also, right? So, so BGS, we created some mods, right? Hopefully everybody who I handed out wrenches to got their wrenches. All right. So I'm not seeing the bots so much anymore. So I'm figuring that the people who got their wrenches are doing their thing. So let's go to some of these comments. Hit the like button. Yes, indeed. Please hit the like button. Hold that thought, my man.
Mm-hmm.
Hold that thought. Hit the like button, please. It's YouTube obligation shit that I gotta say. Please click that like button and please hit me with the thumbs up. I begin a few thumbs downs, and if there's, an issue that you people are having with something about the show that I'm getting these thumbs down, hit me in the comment section and express your grievance. I'm not going to bite your head off. Whatever issue that you are having with the broadcast, please let me know. All right. So, do black men need to re-engineer our morality code to work for us in light of the treason? I mean, shit, is our morality has been re-engineered. Understand? Discard the morality. Just embrace your nature. We talk all this about female nature. Just embrace your nature. It's just that simple. It's crazy, Adam, that we have to tell black men to to serve themselves, to act in their best interest. This is nature. This is nature. Yo, we have been mind fucked, right? To the point where we don't operate like humans. And we think, like we say, well, you know, our humanity is being taken away from us, but we give it away.
We're giving it away, yeah.
Right? So a lot of these queens are committing open treason in our faces. We need to get on code with each other in business. All right. Black Ronin salute. Mike.
But I mean, to that extent, to that extent,
I'm sorry.
I said to that extent, they're committing treason. To be honest, I think they were always on their own side. we thought they were on our side. They were always mercenaries. Go ahead, man.
No, but at one point in American history, they did play their role as if it was like that, right? Shout out to Micah the comedian. Shout out to Afro Shop. Salute Marcus, Adam Brothers. Yeah, what's good? My man Dave Tao. Be the best version of yourself and treat yourself with respect. And whatever you ask, make sure you can bring it. Yeah. And demand it in return.
Yeah.
Demand it. And don't feel like you're less than righteous or that you are blasphemous in your demands. Yes, keep it 100. Okay. Hope I'm a mod. Day one. Yo, yeah, I got you, brother. So man, stay true to your divine. That's right. Rest in your masculinity.
Yeah.
What they masculine, they're in their divine femininity, right? Get in your divine masculinity.
Yeah. And it's funny because let's be honest. It's funny they say rest in their femininity, but the man is doing all his work. He's really supposed to rest in his masculinity when he come home because he's going out and exercising that masculinity all day.
Okay,
femininity is rest.
What I'm saying is, brothers, right? So we're gonna continue with Adam Midmore, but what I want dudes to understand is what he's saying is, right? You know what you want in a relationship, right? You know what you want. Nobody has to tell you. Don't be afraid to demand it, man. You know, we be so scared to demand what we want in relationships out of fear of losing the woman or losing the opportunity to smash or whatever. Because right now we're talking about dating. I mean, we could talk about marriage and everything like that, but to be honest, I don't think that you know, me personally, I'm sticking to the dating discussion because, you know, marriage is something that is not advantageous and we can't change laws right now. Now, if you want to get married, then that's a different discussion. We're going to get into that. But at the end of the day, what I'm saying is whatever it is that you want, and Adam Midmore is saying, demand what you want. But you got to stand on that shit, man.
Up front.
You got to stand on that shit. You know, whatever it is that you want in a relationship, if the woman does not represent that, you have to go that away. You know, I said this on the T. Hassan Johnson podcast. DJ Khaled said, hey, if I'm paying all the bills, I'm not going down. That is his rule.
Yeah.
Being the man that he is, supplying everything on that hierarchy of needs and some wants. So that's what he's saying. For everything that I'm bringing, this is what I will not do. Now, I don't know if he's for real about it, but if he is and he's standing on it, cool, right? Now, you tell that woman, look, either you can be here and that'll be something that I will not do for you, or you can go back to the hood and get your snatch aid. It's one or the other.
Yeah.
And you know, women are good for giving ultimatums. If a man want to fuck with me, he gotta. And what you have to now do, gentlemen, is establish some ultimatums, draw some lines in the sand of your own. And you got to stand by that shit, man. Yeah. You got to stand by that shit. And if you really like her and you watching her walk away, it'll be painful at first. It'll be painful. right?
Mm.
But it ain't gonna be more painful than the shit that you gonna go through doing everything, bending over backwards and submitting
And
to
she
keep
still
that
leave you
freedom.
anyway.
So continue, sir.
I was about to say, and she still leave you anyway. You do all of that, and she still leave you anyway. So what was the point? I mean, really, what we got to lose? I mean, you know, you tell her up front what you want, and then you ask her, okay, I said, you know, and that's the point of this is the art of negotiation, right? You said what you wanted, and she got a chance to say what she wanted. The commitment, that was part one. The part two is when you ask her, what are you going to do? What actions are you going to take to meet my essential and desired quality? Well, you know, that those things I just spoke about with you. What are you going to do to meet that? Right? I remember BGS had a show a while back when he was speaking about Russell Wilson, and he gave 3 rules to Sierra. I forgot exactly what they were, but he had some things that he asked for, and he got them. Right? And that's kind of the, you know, that's the I'm trying to remember exactly what it was, but that's a similar concept when you say what you want, right? Now that doesn't mean I agree with everything Russell Wilson's doing, right? I'm just speaking about the concept of it, right? The concept of you say what you want, now you ask her what she's gonna do about it, and you listen to what she says. You listen to what she says she's gonna do, and you hold her to that. And if she don't do it, what you gonna miss? Right? What are you going to miss? Because she's not doing what you wanted anyway. So if she's not doing what you wanted anyway, and you leave, what'd you miss? If she said, I'm not going to do none of that, what you going to do? You're going to stay, and then she still doesn't do what you said you wanted her to do? You just told her. This is like a respect test. This is really a respect test up front. Because you told her what you wanted, and then if she says she's not doing what you say you wanted, then she don't respect you. What are you in that relationship for?
It's what I said yesterday. I said it's testing cooperation, right? So I had a guy on Facebook say to me, it's still on the John Allen page. He said to me, he said, you know, because I posted that meme about the girl who, you know, she goes out to, you know, to dinner to eat for free or whatever, right? Let me bring that meme back up in a second, right?
Yeah.
So she, you know, she's talking about, you know, she's going out to dinner to basically eat for free, right? So me pretending that I like him and enjoying my free meal, then I'm gonna block him forever, right? So, you know, what he tried to rationalize is that, well, as long as you don't try to smash, then she'll return for a second date. And I'm like, well, then what's the point? Right? Now, of course, exactly. I said yesterday, you shouldn't be trying to hit on the first date. But the way he's talking is like, if you never try to push up, if you never try to smash, that she'll keep coming back for dates. And I think that a lot of these guys, man, in this space that we're in now, they're fine with just getting the attention from the woman. They just want to get some of her time. They just want her next to them. And you know, so when you say, well, what do you lose? Well, they figure they're losing that, right? And you know, that's the thing. So like they're totally fine with you know, going about it that way. And you know, and they just want to be near, right? You got guys, think about it, man. You got a bunch of guys that are on the internet, simping on the internet for women they'll never meet in person, just to be accepted, just to, you know, feel validated, right? And blessed on the internet by women that they'll never meet in real life.
Yeah.
You know,
and I think it's funny too. The guy said, "Hey, if you don't try and smash, or if you never try and smash, then she'll come for more dates." Well, of course she'll come for more free food, you fool. Like,
this is what I'm saying. I really didn't understand that. But
yeah,
I don't,
this guy.
this is the thing. I don't want to clown the man, right? I don't want to clown. No. We typically do that, but I don't. The reason why I say it like that is because understand, we're taught this.
Yeah.
We're taught this, man. We're taught this, and I feel like a lot of us are victims of it, and we can't escape it because we're social creatures. Then we want to be accepted. We want to get along. We want to belong. We want to win. We want to feel like
Mm-hmm.
that women are attracted to us so that we could get their attention and this and that and the other. And
Yes.
just our nature is like, like we're doing all of these things to get close for the opportunity maybe to do something, but it's not really there because none of this stuff is going to get you what you want from a woman who really doesn't want to give it to you. The girl sitting right there and she's saying, I'm gonna block this fool after this dinner's over.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing about how much that food costs that's gonna change her mind about you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Which is
All
why
facts.
I say don't do the big date up front until you feel as though they're interested in you for you. And that's why you don't take them to the expensive date. You take them to the cheap date and you see how they respond to that. Because a girl who likes you doesn't care about a cheap date. I don't care what they say.
I mean, I say, until you've gone through what you expect from that relationship, and she's made those commitments, like we spoke about in that second part, until she said, "Hey, I know what you want, and here's what I'm going to do to satisfy what you want," she don't get no expensive days. Hell, she
So
probably not going to get past day one. Not with me. Fuck that. I'm not
so
doing that bullshit. I'm sorry.
what's the no. What's the you good. What's the third part? I want to get to that and then I'm gonna get to some of these comments. I see you, Gerald crazy.
Yeah.
So get to this let's discuss this third part. Oh man. Shane crazy. I'm gonna have to pull this up. But go ahead, continue. Part 3.
Oh, something you spoke about earlier is that, and just putting this whole concept and process, this whole 3-part step process, or it's really a 3-step relationship framework that can constantly be adjusted, but it's something that is honest, and the man actually tells her these things, right? But the whole purpose to this is because you want to be happy, right? You're pursuing happiness, which is part of self-interest. So if you're not actually going to end up happy, then the relationship should be deleted, right? And so the last part is hold on. The last part, of course, is protections. And those protections are not necessarily that's the part that you don't actually discuss with the woman per se. Those things that you just have in mind. Because when a woman gets married to a man in the modern society, like you said, she has all types of bailouts, right? So she's got the corporate package, right? Like she's like a CEO or an exec. She gets the severance package and all that. When it's time to leave, she take a 50% of your shit. Like, it's over, right? Well, when it comes to this new deal, marriage is basically off the table, right? With the express exception of if a man is basically given over all of his belongings and to his parents or some other trusted individual, and he doesn't own anything, right? So you're living in, quote unquote, your house, but your parents own it. She can't take it because you never owned it. Your parents owned it, right? But I'm not talking, I'm not going to give any legal advice. I'm just saying, by and large, marriage is basically off the table. I mean, it's in my name, so obviously, right? That's part of the new deal. The man has to have as many protections as the woman has, and that's what keeps the or else, because you can't make a demand without an or else, right? You demand politicians, hey, ban student loan debt, fix student loan debt. Okay, sure, but what you gonna do about it though? If I don't do it, what you gonna do? Nothing. So I guess I'm not gonna do it then. This is where go ahead.
Let me address that part. I'm sorry. I want you to finish your sentence first.
No, that's it.
All right.
That's protections. Making sure that you are able to actually leave or exit that relationship with 0 or no penalty, right?
So,
or with a plus, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
I want to address the marriage part, right?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I want I want men, and especially black men, to get it out of their head that there's going to be some law changes or legal proceedings or anything. Let me tell you, there's a group called the Men's Rights Activists. You know who they are, right?
Yep. Yep.
MRA, Men's Rights Activists. Men's Rights Activists has been around for years. These are men. These are white men.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been trying to change laws for years now.
Yep.
And it's not happening.
Yep.
Okay. So when guys come up on my streams or if I see guys anywhere else on the internet talking about what we need to do is get them to take away welfare or change the laws with marriage and change the laws of child support and all this other shit, it's not happening. Get it out of your head. Throw that away. Right? So when my man says marriage is off the table, understand this desire to get married, hoping or waiting and praying that they change the laws regarding marriage. Now I know you got prenups, but fuck that. Right?
Toilet paper.
Prenups get thrown out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Prenups get thrown out, right? So understand. Ain't no laws going to change for you that ain't been changed for the white man. it ain't happening.
Yep.
Right? And it's funny, all this stuff that, dudes, simping ass dudes on YouTube or anywhere else be talking about, why, the reason why your woman doesn't cooperate with you is because you don't, you ain't defeat white supremacy and you don't own this and own that. Hold on. You got Tom Likas on the radio telling white guys different things to deal with white women, and they can't get the laws changed. So what law is going to get changed for you that ain't been changed for them? It ain't happening. Get it out of your head, bro.
I gotta say something to that as well. These, the people who say you gotta defeat white supremacy first before you can, you can get the look. At the end of the day, if you gotta defeat white supremacy to get black women to be loyal to you, then they're not loyal to you. That's just the bottom line. Loyalty comes before, right? Loyalty doesn't come after.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Loyalty comes before rewards, not after, right? I don't reward you, and then you're loyal to me. Right? No, you're supposed to be loyal to me first, and then your loyalty is rewarded. We don't reward disloyal women. That's just the bottom line.
Loyalty,
like if you're gonna go through all that to I'm just gonna say this: if you got to go through all that to get these women to be on your side, then what's the difference between them and literally every other woman on the face of the earth?
Check this out.
There's no difference between them. Then they're no different from the Latina. They're no different from Mei Ling. They're no different from the white woman, because if you got to do all that for these women to be on your side, then they're basically the same as everyone else.
Well, they aren't, and that's why a lot of us go those other places. Yeah,
I know what you're saying.
So they are different. But
you know the point I'm making, though.
I do, but what I'm saying is, loyalty is like faith, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't. I should buy your loyalty, right? Right. It's like buying your faith, right? Now, one more thing I say before Mr. Graves chimes in, right? Is this, right? Again, I kind of lost my train of thought here.
My bad.
What I'm saying, what I was trying to say is, right, is that these chicks. Damn, I done forgot what I was gonna say, man. This doesn't happen to me. What's going on, Graves? We're gonna go right here. What's going on, man?
What's up, gentlemen?
It must be time for us to hear Mr. Graves.
Indeed.
It must be time. All right.
Oh wow! Oh wow!
I don't know how long you've been here, man, but right now You know,
I
we
haven't been
talking
here that I
about
haven't been here that long actually.
what we're talking about. You know, the
I'm
new
gonna
deal,
send you some.
with the new deal. So the new deal. Matter of fact, so what was it? Oh, okay. So now I'm back. Marriage is off the table, and get it out of your head that laws are going to be changed on your behalf, right? So understand, henceforth, if laws are not going to be changed on your behalf, don't do anything or make decisions that will put you at the mercy, the legal mercy of females. I'm sure that we've heard older guys tell us, don't move into her house with her name on the lease. You are putting
Yeah,
yourself at the legal mercy. So why would you put a ring on it in the same manner? Like, look, I understand love and everything like that, but bro, like, you have to take care of yourself legally.
Mm-hmm.
If you have to get married, listen, don't be afraid. It's just like, what's that ball player that walked out on the wedding because the girl went and signed the prenup?
You talk. Yeah, I know who you talking about. You talking
Steve,
about Smith? No, what is no? He played for. I know you talking about.
yeah, he walked out on the prenup. Somebody's gonna give it to me in the comments in a second. He walked out, left the girl at Steven Jackson,
Yeah, Jackson. Yeah.
walked out on the woman at the altar because she wouldn't sign the prenup. That's what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, get with it or get lost. I'm not putting myself in a legal disadvantage, at a legal disadvantage for love or for pussy or any of that
mm-hmm.
shit, right?
Yeah.
It is the deal breaker.
Mm-hmm.
Understand? New deal.
Mm-hmm.
Get with it or get lost.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the antithesis of the New Deal because the whole point is to be able to incentivize or punish behavior. You incentivize good behavior through rewards and through punishment, right? You de-incentivize what you don't like with withdrawal, and you're able to incentivize what you do like, right? So if
I
you
know.
can't, if the goodies
Mhm.
are guaranteed, then there's no incentive to do anything. It's the antithesis of the
Exactly.
New Deal.
I know guys who, in order to attempt to make their relationships better and to get their girls to act right, they got married to him.
Oh man.
They got married to him. They're like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, this will make the relationship better. Oh, that's what she wants. She's tripping because we're not married. So let me give her what she wants. Right?
Hmm.
Giving rewards for bad behavior doesn't work. Doesn't
Nope.
work. Mr. Graves,
Yes, sir.
what's going on?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, man? So yeah, I mean, this goes into the what is it? What is it? The emotional
Neighbor.
yeah, the emotional labor aspect. I think this it can't be underscored more. The emotional labor, um uh uh um the way that we've been trained, through emotional labor does not allow us, to be able to, go over these, our rights and privileges, and make these kind of agreements, or to break agreements, based on emotional labor. We don't have it in us to do so. I mean, just look. I just what is her name? Cooper, the feminist. Her name is
Oh, Brittany Cooper, I think it
yeah,
is.
Brittany Cooper. Yeah, I mean, I knew about this before, but it just came up again where she talked about how white supremacy is what is causing black women to be fat and obese. The only way that she could make that statement is if black men are supporting that statement. That's the only way that that's possible. Okay. And so yeah, she can make that statement, but we're gonna have to pay the price for that.
So So who's to blame for this?
Oh no. Oh no.
Whose fault is that?
Who did it to Penny, man? Which one of y'all motherfuckers did this to Penny?
Oh my goodness.
Which one of y'all did this to Penny, man?
No, say it ain't so.
Yo, who's old enough to remember Different Strokes, man? Oh man, Janet Jackson.
That was Janet Jackson, wasn't it?
That was Janet Jackson, bro, on Different Strokes with your boy Todd Bridges. Okay, come on, man. So,
The one on the left could get them different strokes. The one on the right, I don't know.
You know, I'm just saying. So who? So is WS the blame for this? I just want to know who did this, man. Which one of y'all motherfuckers did this to Janet, man?
Oh man.
You know? Yeah, man. Like, come on, man. Are you serious? Supremacy is to blame for obesity?
See, white supremacists drive up on black folks, black men and shoot them. White supremacists drive up on black women and give them McDonald's. You better eat this.
But white women,
gunpoint.
White women are obese too, not on the level of black women. But how does that even make sense? Is anything their fault? Anything?
No. I mean, but that's the problem. You can't make and break agreements with someone who is not even there. You know what I'm saying? They're not even there to even have this conversation. They're in the conversation, but they're actually not even in the conversation. Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's fascinating too that on one hand they'll argue that white supremacy makes them fat, but on the other hand, if black men said, "Hey, we want you with a BMI that's between 19 and 25 and a waist hip ratio between 0.55 and 0.7, oh, that's European standards." Oh, wait a second, I thought you said white supremacy made you fat. So which is it? Are you fat or is this European standards? Like, which is it?
As soon as you started that sentence, as soon as you begin to say that, I knew where it was going.
Yep.
I knew where that was going.
Yeah, you knew I was coming with that.
They can use the European standards to show their victimization, you know, but using their standards to, for a level for accountability, then it becomes something else. Yep.
And it goes to what Marcus was saying earlier about black men really finding themselves in their own nature, right? I mean, I've read several studies that go over, but if we're talking about looks on how black men are no different from any other man with regards to what they find preferable in female body size, right? Mm-hmm. The waist hip ratio, they've always found the silhouettes to be 0.55 to 0.7. In fact, every man, including Chinese men, in which that body type doesn't actually exist really in China, right? It's rare. It doesn't really exist, but they still found the same silhouettes, waist hip ratio 0.55 to 0.65 attractive. They found the same BMIs attractive. We're men, right? This is what we find attractive, right? But we're, like you just said, Ian, we're shamed for wanting that. And like you said, Marcus, before we actually had to train ourselves to say, oh, she's thinking all the right places. Oh, all the right places to end up in a hospital. What are you talking about? All the right places. But this is what these dudes. I mean, this is how we had to train ourselves to like things that we naturally are opposed to, right? Obviously within standard deviation. So then the question becomes, like you said earlier, okay, we know these things, but what are we going to do about it, right? And this is the first part. The first and most important thing, like Marcus said, for the first half of the show, is to adjust to correct our sense of warped morality. We need to make sure that what we find right and wrong lines up with justice, right? The same way we see it in everything else, the same way a black man can find out what's fair and what's not fair and everything else. You can play a video game and say, hey, why all the black characters always look like this? You can see it in everything else. But when it comes to your own women, you can't see how they're treating you. We need to fix that. That's the first step.
Okay.
it's a religion, no different than, you know, other religions that we've been given. You know, if you think about it, you know, most religions inherently teach you to ignore your own self-interest for the morality that benefits whoever, right? And you always got to ask yourself, you know, who does this benefit, right? Who does this morality benefit? And you know, these rules, you know, they contradict common sense.
Yep.
They contradict human nature, not just male
Yep.
nature, but human nature.
Mm-hmm.
Human nature is self-interest.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean that you don't work together with others for a common goal. It just means make sure the goal is common. Make sure there's mutual benefit. See, mutual benefit is still self-interest,
Yep.
right? And what we're being told to do is abandon self-interest for righteousness, but from who? And then and you should not seek any incentive, because to seek incentive is, you know, somehow inherently evil, but
Yep.
only for you.
Only for you.
Only for you. Everyone else is allowed to pursue their own self-interest,
Mm-hmm.
right? So again, this is all SYSBM. All of this is SYSBM. Save
Yep.
yourself, right? Meaning, yo, whatever you want to do, wherever you want to go, wherever you want to put your dick at, wherever, you know, wherever girl you want to date, and however many you want to be with, do what you want to do. Do what you want to do. At the
Yeah.
end of the day, you got to create your own morality, right? Because morality is just a social construct. What's up, Grace?
Well, what I was going to say too is that, you know, because I was having a conversation on Clubhouse, and what I had said, because the women were saying that their thing is in their 20s, you know, is, you know, a particular woman was saying in their 20s, you know, they don't believe in getting married because they believe that their 20s should be to find themselves and to experience and have all these things. But what I said was, you're shaming men, you know, for saying that at a certain age, you know, we want to marry you, you know, because that's the prime optimal for us. That's the optimal age, you know, that would benefit us. And I was saying that, yeah, you saying that you don't want to be under the authority of a man, but to some degree you are. When you choose to spend your life, you know, reckless, there is going to be some CompuServe male simp there to protect you. Okay? Don't think that there's anywhere you're going to go in life where there's not going to be a male authority, you know, there. You know what I'm saying? So it's just in those cases, you're not giving anything in return, you know, for his provision and protection. And so now when we're saying, okay, if we're going to give you provision and protection, we want a certain weight and we want a certain age. But you're shaming us, you know, when we're asking for something in return for what we're giving you, regardless of whether or not you're saying that you're spending your life sowing your oats. There are men there that are doing for you without a quid pro quo. So you're basically trying to tell us, you know what I'm saying, to, you know, to remain emasculated and not ask for what we want, when we're gonna be giving it to you anyway. Why wouldn't we fucking ask for it?
So check this out. Check this out, right? So that's the 3 points, right? You laid them all out. Do a summary, like a heading summary of the 3 points, because then I want to move on to the next part.
Yeah, is that the summary is that you're gonna be under male protection no matter what, right? The only question is there going to be a male that's going to benefit quid pro quo from the giving of that provision and protection? So, in shaming us, you're basically telling us that we should continue to give you that, that provision and protection without asking for anything. But the crazy thing is, why would we not ask if we're going to be giving it to you anyway? So, that's where she logged off, because I had to tell her about Megan the Stallion. Megan the Stallion, she want to be city girl and all this other type of shit. But then when the bitch get in trouble, she like, what? Black men don't protect us. Fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? So, bitch, you need to come under the motherfucker's authority. And if you just gonna do that shit, you know what I mean? If you're just gonna denigrate black men for not providing provision and protection, being a male authority in your life, bitch, then we're gonna demand it. Because if you're just gonna, sully our names and you're gonna ruin our character, yeah, I'm gonna demand some shit. What sense does it make for me not to?
So okay, so this is the thing, right? So now, I mean, we discussed, how they are, what they want, what they look for, whatever unreasonable shit that they, come at us with, and we also laid out, marriage is off the table. We laid out these three things. Did you reiterate them? The three deal things.
Oh, you want me to? I mean, by and large, the three parts of the New Deal is the essential versus essential, the essentials of the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you create that, just like there's a hierarchy of needs,
Mm-hmm.
right? There's a hierarchy of wants and desires. And
Mm-hmm.
when you speak to your woman, I'm speaking practically here. Part one is you making sure, from jump, whenever you decide it's ready to have that conversation, you better have that conversation. And you speak with her and say, look, this is what I want, right? This is what I want. I mean, you could say, this is what I want, expect, this is what you need to do. You could say however you want, but it really doesn't matter how you say it, because the next part is where you decide whether you're going to stay or not. The next part is asking her what she's going to do to fulfill those things. And that's when you will know whether she's serious or whether she's for the streets. That right there. It doesn't really matter how you say what you want, because if she doesn't have a way she's actually going to fulfill those things, then it doesn't matter. She's for the streets regardless. Beat and pass. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Now, you could be, hey, this is what I expect. You could say, this is your obligations to me. Or you could say, hey, this is what I want. Because that's part one. Because part two is where the tires hit the pavement, right? That's when you say, okay, now you know what I want. What are you going to do to fulfill those desires? And you wait for her answer. And that right there will tell you.
That's all three?
The last thing is the protections, which are innate, right? You're not getting married. You're making sure that you always have a way to withdraw yourself from that relationship in such a fashion that you have suffered no penalty or came out with some profit, some reward. Those are the three elements to the New Deal structure.
So the last part of it is really not necessarily something that you're asking of her. It's something that you're deciding not to do.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you hear that, gentlemen? Now I want guys to ask questions in the chat. Shane will be with us soon. He's doing some things, but that last part is the one that actually is very important. Like, because you can lay all of this shit out, but if you put a ring on her finger, especially in the wrong state, then all of that shit doesn't really mean anything, because now you are obligated by law to be the provider male that we're sitting here talking about is dead, right? Mm-hmm. To a degree, and because the law, understand the law will make you do this. This is not just something that Black men decide to do because we've been trained and conditioned to, but it's also something that you will be forced to do that.
I think it's it could be easily illustrated this way. Anyone who's ever been in a union, if you've had a bad union contract, and you signed on for that job, man, you just gonna have to do it. And you could be like, but I don't like this deal. So what? This is the group agreement. You got to do it. That's what getting married is like. You in a bad union deal where the employer has already bought the union out, so you're not getting shit. But here's all your obligations. You got to do what you do, and you got to pay dues on top of it. You don't want to be in a bad union deal, right? You want to make your own contract. The New Deal is a private contractor, right? You a contractor. You setting up the terms of agreement, and you invoice that bitch. Yeah, you're not giving me a salary. This is my invoice. This is what you're going to pay me. All right. These are the terms of the agreement. And the thing with the contractor, a contractor can really punish the person who hires them if they don't pay. An employee, I mean, you can sue with labor law, but there's only but so much the state will award you. You don't got, you know what I'm saying? Look, I'm not saying being a contractor better than employee one or the other, but I'm showing the complete difference in freedom that you have. You know, for one or the other, and that you can negotiate and set your own terms. You're not signing into a bad union deal where the terms have been set for you. So don't get married, right? Now, you know, don't get married. Make sure that you're able to actually punish breaches of contract. Because if you get married, you can't really punish breaches of contract. She's got the severance package, nigga. I mean, my bad. She got the severance package, my man. She could pull out anytime she want with half your stuff, and she don't got to do the stuff you say. But if you try to de-incentivize her poor behavior, now you're doing financial abuse, emotional abuse, all other types of abuse. Come on, man. Come on, man.
But you know, there is an opportunity though in marriage to have, I guess within the what do you call it, the when you protect your money, what is it called again? A
trust or
yeah, well, no, the
prenup?
The prenup. There is a way to put stipulations there.
I mean, there's a possibility of it, but see, here's the thing: is that the average man. I mean, first of all, the specific way that happens will be on a state by state, county by county basis, and then of course you know, will the man be able to find an attorney who can actually do that? I mean, will the average man have the money to be able to do that? So I'm not saying that it's completely out the water. And there are some times where prenups are upheld, but the family courts are like a kangaroo court. And I mean, we just seen how Dre, one of the richest men in America, you know, top 1%, got his prenup thrown out, and the wife knew of the prenup. She signed it. The kids were all grown, so it's not like they had small children. There's no best interest of the children.
Wow.
And yeah, he got his things. He still got to pay her, like, what is it, $1 million a month, $5 million a month? I forgot how much this dude's paying.
They breaking prenups like thin ass condoms these days, bro.
Wow.
That prenup.
No hot sauce.
Listen, when I was much younger, one of my phrases used to be, if a woman really loves you, have her sign a prenup, right? That's what I ain't afraid to ask no woman to sign no piece of paper. That was what I used to say. I used to be like, hey, you know what? As a testament to your love for me, if you really want me for me, you're going to sign this paper, baby. Right? Now, I dare you not to sign it, because then in that context, what you're saying is, you know, you don't.
Yep.
You don't. You don't want to sign because you want an opt-out. And then that's when she'll be like, oh, you think we ain't gonna make it? No, I know we gonna make it, right? So sign.
Right.
If you don't sign, then you don't think we gonna make it, and you want to fall back.
Right. Because it's very disingenuous for women to assume that men are marrying women just to want to leave the marriage. You know what I'm saying? Like what man ever does that?
Yeah, I mean, it don't make sense. You know, especially since men are hypogamous. So like, if you're marrying down and you got all the money, what you gonna take when you leave? Like,
check this out, right? That's why I tell, you know, all these pay all the bills people, right? And then we're going to address these comments because shit is funny as shit, right? So if she's going to take half when she walk out the door, make her pay half. All these guys, they trying to exercise their, you know, their manhood by paying all the bills, but then you pay all the bills, but she gonna leave with half. No, make her pay half. So when she walk out, she's walking out with her half. Now my man Rodimus, right? We have, oh man, this is so misogynist. So he has his word. As I stated before, we have to train them to be cock sleeves, right? He has his word, his cock sleeves. I just had
Oh
to
my
throw this
God.
comment. I just had to throw this comment up. So it's so fucking disrespectful. This is his
Oh
word.
man.
There's a word that I will be using out this motherfucker throughout. Cock
He,
sleeves.
he's saying the women are cock sleeves.
Bro.
Train them.
Wow.
I mean,
Yes.
it is funny because it's a it's a misogynist statement. It's rightfully so, I guess. I mean, to call it that, but when you think about it, the way that women have trained men to be concuserves is very misandrist, right?
Listen,
So
bro,
a turn of
understand.
misandry gets a turn of misogyny, right? If we're to be her slave and sacrifice our life for her, then sure, she could be a cock sleeve. That's I mean,
No. But when black men use words, it's violence.
I say that
violence.
shit. Look, this is his
copyright.
shit. That's right, copyright. Look, I say this shit in all facetiousness when I say misogynist. It's like, yo,
Yeah, I know.
it's just hilarious. Like, oh, the fuck, the first time he said that shit to me, man, he had me cracking up. So he said prenuptial cock sleeves, man. Oh, he got more. There's more, right? So I'll get to them. He said prenuptial or living trust. Now I don't know how living trusts protect you. If it's like something that they can't get to. I know prenups is out the door. Living trust is something that if it's something that protects you now, they're gonna get at that shit later.
Yeah, because protection is a huge part. That's the third part of the New Deal. So if you are unprotected, then you're not doing the New Deal. If you're not dealing, you're just getting took.
So,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
so let me read some of these comments, and then we're gonna bring in Mr. Shane. So, all right, some states ignore prenup agreements. It depends on the family court judge, of course, but we know what happens most of the time, right? So when you become a Halle Berry, Britney Spears, or Jeremy Meeks' ex-girlfriend, then they hate the court system, of course.
Oh yeah.
Right? Right? So without further ado, what's you got the camera on, Shane?
Lord Shane.
What you got the camera pointed at, man? Oh, okay, here we go. So you know what we're talking about, right?
Sorry for my late entrance, but I need to get up to speed. So you guys can carry on with the conversation and yeah.
Yeah, so prenups don't work. So I think that the most important element of this New Deal, and when we say understand, I want to point this out. When we say New Deal, what we mean is new plan of action, right? Because New Deal sounds to me like you're bargaining, right? And that's not what we're doing here. It's a new plan of action, right? So you're saying, okay, this is how we used to do. We ain't doing it that way no more. Now we do it like this, and this is the new plan of action, right? So new plan of action says, and to me, the third part being the most important is marriage is off the table until such a time where shit is fair and I ain't gonna be dragged through the ringer. That shit is off the table. And motherfuckers that know me from 14, 15 years old will tell you at 14, 15 years old, I said, nah, because I see what's happening. You know what I'm saying?
What did you see all the way back then?
Listen, I was talking to somebody the other day, man. It was like, matter of fact, no, it was you, Shane. Me and Shay was talking. Shay was like, yeah, back in the days, it used to be like this and that and third. And I'm like, nah, it's the same. It's the same. I mean, we got the internet now, and girls are saying wild shit on the internet. And they doing video shit and all types of stuff, and it's becoming something that we see more. It's like, how America is seeing, police.
Oh.
Well, I guess
I've never seen that happen.
well, the show's still running. That's interesting. Yeah, that's entirely new, actually.
He'll be back probably.
Well, I guess he's going to come back up. While he's coming back up, basically the three aspects of the New Deal is that you lay out. But the first two deal with what you're telling the woman or speaking to her directly, right? You tell her what you want or desire in a relationship, right? What you want or desire from the relationship. That's part one, right? So both parties basically expressed what they want, what their ideal is. The second part is the commitment phase, where you would say, well, this is what I'm going to do to satisfy those needs, and you ask her directly what she's going to do to satisfy your needs, right? Because you just said, you gave her a hierarchy of what you want. We've established what are essential and non-essential qualities in relationships. So now she has to make sure that she lets you know exactly what she's going to do to satiate that. That's basically the deal breaker part. If she says some bullshit, then you already know what it is. She for the streets, beaten past. But if she say, hey, this is what I'm going to do, then you can move forward, and throughout the relationship, you can constantly check and make sure she's doing those things. The last part is protection, which is something that you don't necessarily tell her, although you could tell her. It really doesn't make a difference, because you're making sure that your physical, financial, and emotional, I suppose, psychological well-being are all fully defended and protected. All right, so you're not going to get married and make yourself financially vulnerable. You're not going to subject yourself to any situation that would put you in harm of proxy violence, right? So you're not going to, date some chick and then have her, the second she says, hey, I'm going to get this guy, shit's over. It's dead. I don't care how good the pussy. I don't care. It's over, because you're not going to subject yourself to any type of physical harm. If she's threatening to call police or call whoever she says she's going to call, it's over, right? That's protecting yourself financially, protecting yourself physically. You're not going to put up with any emotional abuse or psychological abuse. Obviously, but that's the protection part, right? You're making sure that you're safe, right? So not only are you benefiting, but you're protected. You're a contractor, and you're both doing the contract. And when the terms of that contract are breached, it is what it is. But you're not coming out in the negative. You're coming out with some type of profit, or at least you're breaking even. That's the New Deal. So to get you up to speed, Shane.
Yeah. So Rodimus, we mentioned that earlier. I told guys, I said, if you understand that you don't move in with a woman, especially in her place with her name on a lease, if you understand that, if that's something that a lot of us get, why would it be hard to understand that marriage, especially with the laws being what they are, is worse than that? You know what I'm saying? So, what I was saying before, this part of it is actually the most important. I was saying when I was in my teens that all I had to do was look at the marriages around me. I mean, it was nothing, back then we didn't have the internet, man, but you could read up on, marriages and things of that nature. I mean, the stats, it wasn't that much different back then. I mean, we romanticize it, but, it's only looking worse because we're seeing more of it. Like, we're seeing videos of police brutality and things like that, right? So it's just, you're being shown more shit, right?
Yeah.
I think
audio, right? Go ahead.
Since we had that discussion, Marcus, I gave a lot of thought about, things that we romanticize. And I think I have an understanding of why we tend to romanticize things from the past. And it's because when we're coming up, especially when we're young, we tend to interpret those things as just normal because that's the cultural construct that we're brought up around. And as we age and get older and have more experiences, especially if we move out of certain areas, then we can kind of compare and contrast to see what's actually advantageous to us, to ourselves individually. Does that make sense?
Sort of, sort of. I think I don't know if I buy into it wholesale. The reason why I say that is because, in the time that I'm talking about, I remember being in school, and looking at the dynamic like at the time, right, and looking at it that way. And I always go back to I wrote about women in the school newspaper, and that shit got rejected. And I remember like seeing these things. I do understand what you're saying about normalization, right? Because everybody thought I was bugging, right? They look, even my brother, he thought I was crazy, like when I would say this stuff, because everybody's taught the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's just that you don't realize that it's dysfunctional until, like I said, we living in the information age now, and the stuff that I would tell guys that females was on, it was like they didn't believe me. They would look at me like, well, that's how you just saying that because that's your experience and blah, 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 blah. So now that we got the internet and we're seeing all these different experiences and stories, and it's coming at us like a ton of bricks all day. It's like news cycle, Fox News, CNN type of shit, right? So now it's like everybody's like manosphere, and I'm like, where were y'all like the whole time? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? So like what I'm saying is, in the same way that we look at girls who like look like Aaliyah, and we say this is girls look like in the 90s, like every girl was shaped like Aaliyah. I remember the 90s, and I looked like Aaliyah. Like Aaliyah ain't got no ass. Like ain't I'm like there was fat asses in the 90s. There was big titties in the 90s. All that shit was in the 90s. But then we pull up these super slim chicks to compare them to the women of today, to say, oh, this is how it used to be, and we romanticize that as if Aaliyah was the standard for the 90s. No, she wasn't. You know what I mean? I could think of look,
She wasn't the standard, but she was common.
No, bro, no. Listen. We had some thick chicks growing up in the 90s, man. Real thick.
Well, in New York, there was a lot of variety though too. Everything from Venezuelan chicks to Puerto Rican chicks.
We got that now. But what I'm saying is,
human nature has been the same for thousands of years. Look, the human nature has been the same around the world. Like I pointed out earlier, even with that study on Chinese men, they don't even have women that are shaped like that, and they still prefer it. So these women, the women that you're talking about, Marcus, they definitely existed in the 90s. Like, so it's just kind of a thing people bring up to make comparisons. But like you said, that wasn't necessarily the reality.
The difference is we had those women, but we have more of them now because of surgery, right? Mm-hmm. So it's not that they didn't exist naturally. They did, but now it's like everywhere you look, it's a silicone booty. Right, right. Every you turn left and right, it's a silicone booty.
I'm sorry, man.
I get where guys are like, well, this is what women used to look like. Yeah, we had those too, and we still have Aaliyahs. We still do. It's just that a lot of the Aaliyahs, they get their little PPP money or they get their tax return, and they turn into Melissa Ford. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, so thank you, my man, for bringing that. Yeah, ask Uncle Luke to Live Crew. Sir Mix-a-Lot made Baby Got Back in the 90s. Right? Like Janet Jackson is the 90s. So we had women like that, but then you had Heather Hunters and you had all of the other ones. All I'm saying is like, we romanticize this. So women were the same back then. Understand that the culture was, of course, more accepting of it because it didn't appear to be out of control because you didn't see as much. Now it's appearing that now, you wake a bunch of people up because of social media and you showing them not only posts on Twitter and other posts on Facebook and things like that, but then you're seeing videos of women hit men and shit like that. And every 5 minutes you see a guy getting, all his money taken from him, even though he got paperwork agreeing that it wasn't like this. You know, you look at Michael Strahan. Look at Strahan, man. You know, he had a real bad prenup.
Yeah, Strahan got wrecked.
You know, yeah, Lisa Nicole Carson, who, if you pull up on YouTube, there's a clip of her on the Chris Rock show, right? Which is definitely the 90s, the Chris Rock show, where you know she talking all this wild shit, right? When you talking about, this is the era where black women could go on TV and talk shit about us, but we couldn't. But there was no manosphere, there was no strike back. So you know, you had the women going on, the Ricky Lakes and the Sally Jessies and the you know, what's this, Donahue and Tyra Banks and Ricky Lake and all of these other shows saying what they had to say, but there was no strike back. So you know, we still had this type of thinking back then. It existed, right? And it's never going to change. But you know, the more we go into the future, and now we got all of this tech that we have now, you know, when I hear guys talk about, well, let's take away the welfare checks. First of all, you ain't got the power to do that. You ain't ain't no niggas about to run up in no courtroom and do no class action against no state ran agency to take welfare away from black women. Like, what does that even sound like? And if it did happen, and if it did happen, you know, these women would find another way. They not fucking with you like that. The provider male is dead. Trying to be this provider male to outshine the other men, you know, take them out on a better date than the last guy, or you know, all of this shit, bro. They have everything they need. Understand, I'm emphasizing the word need. All their needs are met by the state. You ain't competing with the state, so let it rest. Find you a chick. I don't care what her makeup or demeanor or nationality or ethnicity is, that will rock with you on your program.
Yeah,
and that's that's the fuck my new deal. And you got to stick with that shit. And you got to lay law down. And it's not evil of you. It's not selfish. It's not inherently, you know, demonic for you to ask or demand, because they demand from you.
Yep.
They demand. It's not, because earlier we said ask. No, don't ask. Ask is, can I please? And they say no, and you say okay. That's an ask. Demand is, this is what the fuck I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for. You got it? No? Get the fuck out of here. And because that's what they'll tell you. They'll say, if you ain't 6 feet, I ain't fucking with you. If you ain't making this amount of money, I ain't fucking with you. You don't drive this car. You can't get the pussy. You ain't doing this, or you a roommate, or you this, or you that, or whatever. And you don't qualify for the pussy, right? And if you step in the room and you got your shit together, and you holler or they holler at you, and they trying to, you know, get serious or whatever, okay. Well, this is what I'm looking for.
With it.
And that's it.
That's it.
That's it. And like you said, marriage is off the table. Can you live with that? And you have to be ready for that chick to walk away from the bargaining table. If you ain't ready for that, you're going to sign a bad deal, right? You're going to be like one of them rappers that signed the Bad Boy in the 90s talking about they got ripped off when they signed their name in their handwriting.
Sign that 360 deal.
They said, listen, they'll talk about you got ripped off and you picked up the pen and you signed your name in your handwriting on the paper, right?
There's a lot of men that get sick. Well, they got to get to the point to where they get sick and tired of being sick and tired before they get pragmatic about these things and just look at reality for what it is. You know, oftentimes a lot of these women, it's like you go to quote unquote sign a deal with them. They're looking to see how far they can go before breaking it. You know what I mean? A lot of them don't operate in good faith. I don't think you should expect anybody really to come to any table in good faith.
That's part of the that's why part of the New Deal is special. I mean, it's only got those three parts, right? The first part, making sure that you're protected is very important. But of course, letting them know what you actually want. No one could say that you never said what you wanted. And then, of course, when they make a commitment, when they say what they're going to do to meet those wants, to satisfy those wants, you have to hold them to it. That's the whole point, to laying it out ahead of time. So that, because if they breach it, you out anyway. Or you're like, okay, well, once she breached it, you could choose to stay or leave, but you know she's for the streets anyway. So you know what to expect. You can use her for what you can and then discard her, because that's what she's doing anyway. Like, if you're talking about anything that's supposed to be long term, then then the only way she can demonstrate that she's serious is by her commitment to satisfying your desires. Right? What you've laid out, what you've all expressly laid out ahead of time. Men need to stop being afraid of saying what they want. Like, bottom line, I don't care whether you demand it. I don't care whether you up. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
No, not just that. Not just that. Because Brotherly Love said, which they will walk away. Cool.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
Not only that, what's more important is you walk away first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Walk away first. You were about to say that, Adam. Walk away first. Look, and walk away early.
Yeah.
If you're in the relationship and you're not getting what you want, you got to end that shit. You see, homeboy just walked away from Megan Good.
Yeah.
Men don't typically walk away. They suffer in silence, man.
Mm-hmm.
You got to walk away. Get out of there. Get out, right? Get out. Right?
Get out.
Get out.
And I think an important aspect of... I'm sorry, man. And I think an important aspect of this is just that men need to make sure that they expressly state these things. You're not hoping that she does it, right? You're not, a lot of guys just kind of get mindlessly, like you said, we've just been trained. We just mindlessly get into these relationships. Great, I got a girlfriend. What do I feed her now? Like, come on, bro. Like, you getting into these relationships and you're not even telling her what you want. You're just glad to serve. That's your service, man. Like, no, you state straight up, this is what I want. And make sure that she, you can't make her do it, but you can watch her. And if she don't do it, you walk out. It's that simple. It's not hard.
As soon as I see a hesitation, I'm out the door.
Yeah, you out the door. That's it. Like, not be scared to walk away. What's she gonna do? What's she gonna do?
But what?
Be scared if you're gonna walk away. What's she gonna do?
What men need to learn is this other part. And I said it earlier. I'll say it again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Women don't like submissive men.
Mm-hmm.
They don't. So that submission that you're thinking is going to keep her around is like the baby that they have to try to keep you around. It's not going to work. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
Okay. So understand.
You need to coin that one. The baby. Say it again.
No, I said the submission that you're giving to keep her around is like the baby that she'll keep to keep you around.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, it's like it's like the keep a nigga baby, right? So it's not gonna work. They don't like submissive men. Not in our culture. They don't like submissive men. Or they don't respect them. So even if they stick around, you got women that are married to soft dudes. Don't get it twisted. There's a dude on the side. Don't get it twisted. I'm not going to say how I know this. I'm just going to say there's a dude on the side. Right? Look, at the end of the day, they don't like or respect. That's why they don't like simps, because simps are submissive.
Mm-hmm.
So all that simping they doing, they're acting in contradiction to male nature, and they think it's going to work for them because they're selling submission to women. You can't sell submission to women, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, it doesn't work, man. Listen, man, right? That shit ain't gonna work. So your shit gonna fall apart anyway.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna find a dude more domineering than you, is they side dude. It's going to be a fuck boy or Pookie or some shit like that, right? And you're going to be, you know, what the way they call it, their beta buck, right? So it's not even in your best interest to do it that way, even though you think that's going to work. It's not going to work. They do a lot of failure shit that we speak on, and this is the male failure strategy: to be submissive and deal with the shit, and to hold a relationship together. Eventually, it's going to fall apart.
Yo, listen, this bring to mind when when you were going through that. I had pictures in mind. I remember I was on the train with an ex-girlfriend of mine, and she got down. And so there was a dude that, you know what I'm saying, some kind of, street dude or whatever. He had Italy tattooed on his neck. And and this bitch had the audacity to goddamn direct me to have a conversation about a tattoo on some other nigga's neck. And I looked at her, I said, "You don't lost your fucking mind here." I said, "You don't lost you." She said, she went, and then she went in some bullshit. "Oh, I'd love to know the story." I said, "Look, motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? All of us black men got stories. You want to jump way over to this nigga's story, and you ain't even done a story on the average niggas that you know what I'm saying, every day, that's doing amazing shit." I'm like, how fucking dare you direct me to look at this other nigga's neck? You don't lost your mind.
Oh man. Oh shit. I'm
Yo,
just,
I was willing to leave her that fucking day. Like, yo, you want this fucking nigga because you this street dude or whatever, you interested in stories? I'm about to leave your ass over this shit. You can have your goddamn beat your ass story.
I'm just saying, like, how valuable is something that, like you ain't even valuing yourself to the point where you're like, listen, man, it either is or it isn't. You have to be able to walk away, man, or let her walk away. Period.
Yeah.
And if you do it enough times, it becomes a thing where it's like, yo, it makes you a powerful person, man. Where you can't be manipulated, you can't be moved, it is just very hard to play you this way if you reach a place where you're the first. When you're willing to walk away from the table, you wield more power.
That's self-actualization.
It's just what it is. You just have more power when you're the one that's willing to walk away.
Yeah, and that same chick, it was another instance. We were out at brunch somewhere. And goddamn, she said, she was just talking, I was thinking about, my age and, having kids and shit. And again, I looked at the audacity, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Don't talk to me about no kids. We ain't married. And bitch, you ain't up to par in terms of the respect area to be talking to me about even mentioning no kids in my presence. I I was about to walk up out the restaurant.
The way I operate, I assume everything a woman is saying is a bold-faced lie until her actions back it up. And the New Deal to me is nothing but a plea for a ceasefire.
Yeah, man. So, we're gonna start wrapping this up. So basically, man, when it comes, let's summarize. When it comes to modern dating, understand that it is not your job to prove provision because there's no need for it.
Right.
Okay. We're living in a different time. No, and it's not going to be to your advantage to do it. It's not going to be an advantage to do it. Simping is, you know, if you look at the simp guys, man, they're not winning. They're not, you know, these women are not moving toward the simp guys over anybody. We know that doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
So don't be that guy,
Mm-hmm.
right? And simping is not limited to getting on the internet and defending women's dysfunction. It also, you know, is when you give up your dignity or, you know, your self-respect, you know, to please some chick. You know, when you go against your, you know, your better judgment and shit like that, and you pretty much serve yourself up to be used. You know, that is also simping. Now, you know, people might regard it as tricking, but tricking is really different. Like, you know, there's an objective to tricking where you're doing this to, like, you know, to receive something. You know, you're putting money on the table to do this and that. But simping and tricking can go hand in hand. The thing is, at the end of the day, when it comes to these first dates, brothers, do not go all out. She's a stranger. She's a stranger that's potentially using you. Now, the way you find that out is you have to, like, girls like to play little games to test us. You got to test these women out, man, to see what they react to, and that'll let you know everything that you need to know about her. But, you know, and you know, a lot of men are just scared to get that negative result. They don't want. It's like y'all don't want to find out who y'all dealing with. Y'all don't want to test. Please get the bot out of here, moderators. But, you know, it's like you know, men are scared to get that negative test result, because that means now they got to throw the whole bitch away,
Right.
and they don't want to do that.
Right.
But you got to do it for your own good, man, because, you know, you're gonna prevent a lot of fucking issues, you know.
Right.
So USYSBM, this is save yourself, man. Save yourself trouble.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, and that's why I gave those stories, because I was willing to walk away at any moment with the bitch. You know what I'm saying? Any moment. There was nothing, and at no time that I was not willing to say, nah, this ain't gonna work out. You know what I'm saying? If she wasn't going by the program that I saw fit. Back then I didn't necessarily have it as laid out as I do now, but I knew to some degree what I wanted. I knew that her talking about kids and they're not really being an established safe place within a relationship for the kid. I was like, no. I was like, hell no. You know what I'm saying? There's no way that I would have kids under these terms and conditions. There's no way. That's impossible. And the fact that she tried me like that, I'm like, yo, man, this relationship might not work out. You know what I'm saying? The only person who should be mentioning kids is me, and that's when I feel comfortable.
Yeah, man. So, Shane, so chime in on this, man, because, you know, we're gonna start making closing arguments. We got 15 minutes before, you know, Dr. Hassan goes live, and
What? He's going at 11?
he's 8 o'clock West Coast time. So yeah, I guess 11 o'clock y'all time. So he's gonna be live in 15 minutes. So I want to close this out before he jumps on. So yeah, give me your words, Shane, on you know, what we talk about is nature, morality, the modern dating social contract, because, you know, social contract has been broken, right? It's been broken. So where do you stand as far as, not, you know, women's position and what they are doing and this and that, as far as, you know, what you think men should do to navigate the dating space and how they deal with Black women in particular, if they choose to do so?
I say pretty much abandon altruism completely, because there's no place for it anymore. I mean, women have expressed it in so many different ways that they want what they want, and damn everything else. You know what I mean? They're operating just from a 0 point origin. So in order for us to survive, we should pretty much do just that as well. Because the way women operate is like, if you keep giving, they'll keep taking. And as far as the some sort of you know, meet me in the middle type contract, that's bullshit, because when it comes to trying to form any kind of agreement, they actually look for ways to find any loophole they can. you know, like I was saying earlier, they're not coming to the table in good faith because, you know, the concept of honor, that's not something that actually comes from them generally. That's something they actually have to learn from an external force. So
You
that's
know,
my
mhm.
You said abandon altruism, so I like that. You know, I think that the way that they approach everything transactionally is how men should approach it. Approach it like it's a transaction.
Yeah,
You know, men tend to approach. You know, it's funny that women get credit with being the emotional ones, but you know, when men approach these relationships, they approach it with, you know, with feelings. You know what I'm saying? And women approach it very practically. You know, with what they want, and they demand this and demand that. You know, unless it's Pookie or one of these fuckboy niggas that they deal with, then they in their feelings. But when they approach you, they come in with the practical application, transactional shit. So if you being approached with a transaction, you have to return that energy, right?
you get
So
a benefit.
yeah, so you know, or again, step away. Be
and to
willing.
back up to what you were saying, it's like every time um that I've ever, you know, engaged in dating and stuff like that, I pay close attention to what women say. And you know, when I ask them out and we make a plan to go out, the question is always, what am I gonna do, or what do I have planned? It's never a we thing. They always put the ball in my court to do something for them. That's what they're looking for.
So Adam, let me get some closing remarks from you, and then you know I'm gonna say a few things, and then we up out of here because you know I want to close this out because there's some things that I'm gonna say I really don't want missed because I like this is something that we gonna get down tonight, and
Mhm.
we you know this is something me and you have been you know kind of like
Working in the lab.
yeah so elaborate. Get ahead and break it down, man. Just you know, and then I'll speak after you.
Well, I know time is limited, so I'll be very brief, and then I'll back out. Uh, the bottom line when it comes to the New Deal is this: regardless of how you're uh, you know, approaching women in general, the bottom line is that at the end of the day, men are human beings, just as women, right? And we want to be happy, right? This society we live in accepts all types of alternative arrangements, right? Whether it's, you know, people of the opposite sex marrying or living together, or you know, a single mother raising children, even a communal structure. They accept all types of arrangements. Well, this is a new type of arrangement that actually has men's best interest at heart. And so, whether you know, it could be
Speak
true
on it.
that it could be true that women, you know, don't have. Many women do not approach relationships in good faith. You know, there's a very limited number that, perhaps an aberrational amount that do. But at the end of the day, as long as you are protected, right? As long as you are protected, it doesn't matter what her intentions are because you can always back out without consequence, right? The first rule of combat is to find cover, right? The first rule of fighting is you put your hands up and protect yourself, right? You got to be protected before you can do anything else. The first rule of negotiating is making sure that this isn't your life or death deal, right? This can't be the deal that makes or breaks your business. You
Hey,
have to have good
what
business already.
sidebar? What's the first rule of boxing?
First, so who again?
The first rule of boxing. Somebody say it.
Protect yourself at all times.
Yeah. First rule of boxing: protect yourself at all times. Keep
At
your hands up high
at all times.
at
Continue.
all
I didn't want to cut you off, but you said another rule, but I just wanted that I wanted that point out. First rule of boxing. Continue.
Yep.
Continue.
Protect yourself at all times. Yeah, that's
Oh,
why I wrote a reminder to myself. I forgot to say it, but that's a very important rule. And so, to be brief, you need to make sure that you're protecting the relationships. You need to make sure that you speak and express exactly what you want, And then you need to get her to commit to that. Now, or to at least express what she's going to do to accomplish what you want. Now, if she doesn't, you protect it at all times. You can back out, say, hey, this ain't working because I told you what I wanted, you ain't doing it. You could ghost her. It doesn't really matter because you're protected. But this is the new deal. This is the new arrangement. You're getting something, right? And I believe it's the fair arrangement because both people are benefiting. But at the end of the day, this is what it's about, because you're doing this to be happy. And if you are not happy, then what's the point? That's all I got, man. Yo, great show, by the way, man.
No doubt, no doubt. So me, I don't know what you just said. You said, make sure that both are happy. This is how I see it, right? In the realm of interest, nobody, the other party is not really interested that you benefit. Now, I'm gonna take it a step further, because I need men to be like shrewd about these negotiations that take place. Shrewd. When you talk about politics, you talk about Republicans who are shrewd, and then you talk about Democrats who want to be bipartisan about everything. And men are taking the very democratic approach to relationships where they want it to be a mutual benefit. Oh, let's find middle ground. Let's meet in the middle. And then you have the other side who doesn't give a fuck about the middle. They are very, very, very self-interested. They are very, very, much about what they want, and they don't care if you benefit from the deal. They put bad contracts in front of you all the time. You get the bad boy deal, right? You're publishing, the royalty be trash, right? You might get the 360 where we get it all. You perform, we get a piece. You appear on TV, we get a piece. You do some Snicker bar, Sprite commercial, we get a piece of that too, right? They give you bad deals all day. They don't care whether you benefit. And that's where we fuck up a lot, is we try to make the shit fair. Now, if you're a righteous man, this is what you do. You set the deal to benefit you, but then in your approach to dishing it out, you act righteous, but arrange it in your benefit so that if anything, you can lean back on that agreement that you made that benefits you. Stop thinking about the other side. Now, if you're trying to negotiate and make shit appealing, then you have to appeal to other people's self-interest, or at least appear to. But what I'm saying is carve out a bigger slice for yourself. Take the big piece of chicken. It's yours to take. Okay? If you're coming with like if you're going to be the guy that's going to do this and do that, and I ain't talking about provision, whatever. I'm just saying, like, if all of these things are being demanded of you, or if anything is being demanded of you, you got to demand in return, and you can't back up off that shit, man. And you have to set the deal to benefit you. And be unapologetic about it. We're going to have to abandon these ideas that we're bad people for being self-serving, because everybody else is getting what they want. And that statement right there is bigger than this relationship shit. It goes outside of this discussion, right? Everybody else is getting what they want, and we're trying to be fair. We're playing good cop. Leave that shit in the past. Get what you need from it, right? Don't even worry about what she gets from it, right? You know, present a deal that appeals to women. You know what I'm saying? Present, show them an image that's appealing so that they want to fuck with you. And then you say, well, if you want to be down, this is what I need you to do. All right? And that's what it is.
Facts.
You know? So, and I don't give a fuck what they call you, how they shame you. It doesn't matter. Protect yourself at all times. Right? Marriage is off the table. Right? If you can't find what you want here, go somewhere else. And that's another point that I definitely want to understand. Black men have been told time and time again that their choices should be limited, right, to these women. You gotta tell them it's your bus. Yeah, you got dudes out here killing themselves, black men, because they can't get a black woman. As if it's limited. Yo, your choices are unlimited, people. Like, yo, is you have options. You have options. And if you don't, do what you got to do to increase your options. Whatever you got to do about your physical appearance to make you more confident, whatever you got to do to increase your lifestyle or your perceived lifestyle, put money into that. Because then that sends a signal out that you're the desired guy. You become select, right? I guess in that, context through material or perceived status or whatever the case, but that's fine. Because like I said earlier, you got game coaches that'll tell you, well, you don't have to do this and that. And well, some guys got to do it this way and other guys got to do it that way. But we all got different hands. We're dealt different hands, and you got to play the hand dealt to you. You can't do the game coach, the dude 6'3" with the waves spinning, and he's an incredible, human specimen. You can't do what he does to get women. You got to do what works for you. And if you do it, you play it that way. I always tell guys, play the game the way the females play it. You push out what attracts them, and then you demand what you want for that thing you're selling. And you don't back up off that shit for nothing and for nobody.
Facts.
Straight up. And that's what it is. It's transactional, it's contractual, right? Right? And that's what I ain't fucking with no nigga. Got to have a J-O-B if you want to be with. Well, shit, you got to have a fat ass. You got to have big titties. You got to have your stomach flat on flat, right? Right? Stomach got to be on flat. And you got to be pretty. And I don't know. I like T.O.P. every once in a while. And all of these things, if I'm the guy you want to rock with and I'm living a lifestyle you want to live, then this is what's required to be my woman, right? That's what Kevin Samuels is telling these chicks. You want a high value man, and high value in reference to what they're talking about. We know what he's talking about, but high value also changes. If they see value in you, you got to demand value back. Period. And you have options. Get out of the scarcity mindset. There are more women on this planet than men. If she ain't rocking with you, look elsewhere. Don't limit yourself based on someone else's rules. Who made these rules? Who made this morality? Who made it? Who benefits from telling you that you gotta pick somebody that's bigger than what you want, or they hair like this and you don't like that, or they refuse to do this or don't know how to do this? Who's telling you that this is? It's like I take you to the rotten apple orchard and tell you you got to pick from these apples. You got to. Like, you ain't got no choice. I can't go to that orchard over there. No, you got to pick these apples, but they rotten apples. Well, you better make do. Who made these rules, man? Who made them?
Who made them?
And you got to take your personal time very, very seriously too when dealing with them.
Listen, your
The
time, your
government-
energy,
the
your money,
government
all
made
that
rules.
shit. Your presence is a present. Your presence is a present, man. And that's it. I see dudes that are following me. They're in this space, man. And I know a lot of you guys, man, you guys out there working hard, getting your money, and you taking a bunch of chicks out that's on that city girl shit, man. And they don't give a fuck about you, man. Listen. Fuck all that. If you gotta fuck with a Ling Ling or a Becky or some shit, if you gotta do it, go do that. Or if you gotta get on a flight and go to a DR or a Costa Rica or Brazil or one of these places, go do that, man. Let me tell you, I've been down there, man. Yo, that feeling is different. It's different, bro. It's different, man. So like, I think Muslims take a pilgrimage to Mecca. I think every black man should make a pilgrimage to one of these countries. It don't even have to be DR. You gotta make a pilgrimage to one of these countries, man, so you could have a taste of what it feels like to be that nigga. That's it. I'm done, bro. I'm done, man. Yo, man. Y'all good?
Yep.
Yeah, bro. Peace, man.
Check this out, man.
That was 100,
Dr.
bro.
T. Hassan Johnson is on live right now. Talk about male relationship, emotional labor. I think he talked about. No.
Mr. EL. I call it Mr. EL.
A conversation with attorney Dennis Sperling. He's on right now. Okay, I'm going to end this so y'all can, because I'm going to fuck with Dr. T. Hassan Johnson, and I suggest all of y'all do too. So I'm out of here.
Peace,
This
bro.
is Keep It 100, Marcus Aurelius. I'm here with Adam McTowell, Shane, and Ian.
Keep it 100.
I got some guys in the chat that are moderators now, and y'all know who y'all are. All right, man. Appreciate it. Subscribe. Click the thumbs up. Not this. Thumbs up, please. And yo, holla. 100. Peace, everybody. We out here. Peace.